like every night as it's dawn. It's like every
Dean Hallertau cannot tell looking at that replay. I think the momentum with the Fisher-Harris. Hallertau cannot tell looking at that replay. I think the momentum with the Fisher-Harris has more than likely forced that ball onto the grass.
With a live decision to try, there's insufficient evidence to suggest that the ball was not grounded. Therefore, we have a decision and going to the ball.
Down to you, Dino.
Yeah, well, Alan Shortall there, the head cam was actually on him, so we were seeing what I guess he was seeing, but I've got to go with him. If he's made the call that he's seen the ball on the ground from the angle that he was running around, then you've got to say it's a try. And Drake Trbojevic, great strength. I thought he was held short, and then he spun around. And James Fisher-Harris, as you said, he came over the top to try and add some weight to the tackle, but his weight just pushed the ball towards the ground. And Manly here just putting the Penrith Panthers under the pump.
Can I just say this about Alan Shortall? If he's seen what we've just seen from his camera, he said, I saw the ball on the ground. I'm saying, bupkis. There's no chance he saw it on the ground. But the referee, I think he did score. I think he did get it down in the end, but I don't know how he saw it clearly from there. 14-0 to Manly, 16-0 now. Matt Wright converts. And they're now starting the Manly side to make this field position, their possession on the back of their defence. They're making it count now in terms of points against Penrith, leading 16 points to nil with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first half.
It was a nice bit of lead-up play. A couple of front rows, a couple of middlemen with a combination. Jake Trbojevic tips it on to Lloyd Perrott, who flicks a beautiful ball out the back, and then Jake supporting him steps through, and as you mentioned, the rest is history. Gets the ball down. Manly in total control.
Well, isn't Lloyd Perrott coming off the bench having an impact? For Nua, Blake charges back from the kickoff, and he's scored 22 out from his own line. Well, the way Manly are playing and the way Penrith are playing, Penrith need to be very careful in this last 6 minutes that the score doesn't blow right out. Manly just outside their own 30-metre line. Uarte played to Coruscant, spins it left to Jake Trbojevic, then away it goes to Tom Trbojevic. They look dangerous every play. He's caught 6 short of halfway, 9 in from the eastern touchline. Now to dummy half right, easily past the marker. He's up over halfway, dumped to the ground, 4 metres in Penrith territory, 20 in from the eastern touchline. Coruscant gets it away to Perrott. This Penrith defence is out on its feet. 30 metres out, last tackle, bouncing into the dummy half as Tom Trbojevic sends it right across field. They go to Sirinen. Sirinen dumped, great tackle by Peachy. Changeover, 21 out from the Penrith line, 13 in from the western touchline. I'm not sure he knew it was the last.
Yeah, it was an ordinary finish to the set there from Manly. Tom Trbojevic jumps out of dummy half and comes across and gives it to Sirinen. He didn't really have much doing. He looked like he didn't have enough confidence to kick it, so took the tackle, but now Panthers finally get a bit of field position. Can they get something off the back of this set?
I'm just going to check as we go here. Now, Penrith aren't out of this game by any means, but if they get flogged, that could put them below the Cowboys in terms of the for and against. Here's the Penrith side, 7 short of halfway. It's played to Watney Gillespie. Right to left, Cleary. Gets it to Bryce Cartwright. Then he links up with support. They get to halfway, and just on the halfway line is where they're caught. And the defence comes from Sirinen and Cherry Evans. It's played, they send it left. Running with the ball, Cartwright, linked up with Tyrone Peachy. Good footwork by Peachy. Coruscant's got him. He's taken ball and all up over the top as well by Uarte. 31 out from the Manly line. 5 in from touch western side. Last tackle. Mansour away to Wallace to Cleary. Puts up a high kick. Every single high kicks coming from about the same spot. Comes down 18 out, bounces in Manly's favour this time. Matthew Wright's there to clean up inside the 10, brings it back into the defence of Harawira-Naira, and also Tim Brown. 12 out for the Manly line. Let's go down to the touchline. 16-0 Manly. Dean Hallertau.
Well, again in that set for the Panthers, Bryce Cartwright twice shifted the ball to his left side and trying to find some way around the Manly defence, but because they've had so much ball, they've got plenty of energy and they're able to cover up any sort of shift and nullify any attack that Penrith are trying to do.
So coming into this game, Penrith in terms of for and against differential, plus 37 over North Queensland. So take 16 off that, it's now plus 21. Manly with it. Jake Trebojevic, lovely dummy. Gets to halfway. The pass to Tom Trebojevic, and he's tackled too short of the halfway stripe in centre field by Harawira-Naira, and didn't play that correctly. Lost it, Tom Trebojevic. And it's going to be a Penrith scrum feed, a metre in Manly's half. 3 minutes 10 left in the first half. Now a Manly player looks to be hobbling from the field, or assisted from the field.
Adding for Noah Blake, I think it is. Looks like he's limping on maybe his left knee or left ankle.
Walking very gingerly behind that northern dead ball line. Adding for Noah Blake. They can ill afford to lose him. He's been outstanding for Noah Blake. And here's the scrum feed for the Panthers, just a few millimetres inside Manly's half.
Well, just under 3 minutes to go in this half here. Obviously, still plenty of time in particular, but it'll be great, obviously, for the Panthers to jag a try just before half-time here.
Well, they win the scrum, Faray dummies, then steps into the defence. Caught 6 metres in Manly territory. It has just been a Manly blitzkrieg in this first half. It comes away to Wonga Blake, but there's no way through this magnificent Manly defence. It's Jake Trebojevic there with Perrott. 37 away from the Manly goal line. Blake plays it to Wallace. Sends it left to Tyrone Main. On the inside it comes to Fisher Harris. Coruscant there to greet him, and Perrott ball and all. Great tackle. 29 out for the Manly goal line. Wallace works it right to May. Then away to Cleary. Cleary takes on the line for about the fourth time, but Jake Trebojevic is there to stop him with Winterstein. 17 out for the Manly goal line. 10 in from touch eastern side. Wallace spins it to the left. Penrith hit the ball up. Cartwright back on the inside. Harawira-Naira. And what a great tackle by Winterstein. 3 out last tackle. Comes away to Cleary. Out the back to May. They get in each other's road. Flex it along the ground. Nothing for Cleary to do. And they've made a meal of it against Penrith. And Manly's defence again outstanding. 16-0 the Seagulls with 1:40 to go. And they get the ball back. 5 out from their own line.
It was a very good defensive set there from Manly. But the previous play, I really like Cartwright. That little tip on to Harawira-Naira, a good footy around the middle of the park. They didn't split him on that particular set, but that starts to take some energy out of this Manly side. But their last play option there was really poor. They needed a better result, the Panthers.
11 out from their own line. Now Matthew Wright struggling to play the ball. He's just flexing his fingers there. I don't know whether he's got a stinger further up the arm. There's 1:12 left in the first half. Manly 16 leading Penrith 0, and they're just checking... What here, Dean Hallertau? His neck? He's just struggling, flexing his fingers there.
Yeah, I think there was a few weeks back where he had a similar situation. I think it was here at Brookvale where he hurt his shoulder. When he went to kick a goal, he barely lifted his arm. So maybe it's a reoccurrence of that injury. But
yeah, it's his left shoulder. You're right, Dino.
He seems to be getting a bit of feeling back in it now. So hopefully for him he can continue.
16-0 in favour of Manly. Earlier today, the Sydney Roosters snared 2 late tries to beat a gallant Gold Coast, 20 points to 16, and ensure second spot on the table. They'll host Brisbane next Friday night at the Sydney Football Stadium, we believe. Here it's now played. Matt Wright staying on the field, but he's still clutching at that left shoulder. Now the ball, Coruscant. He sends the ball to the right side as Manly work it up over their 20. Yet another strong run right up the centre of the ruck. The ball will be played 22 out from their own line. It comes away to Uarte in off the wing. He scored 31 out from his own line. 45 seconds left first half. Uarte plays it to Coruscant. Sends it left to Green. On the inside, Perrott, who's been terrific off the bench. He's tackled here. 11 short of halfway. Played it to Coruscant on the last. Away to Cherry Evans. He'll boot this over the western touchline. That's his intent, and that's what he achieves. 18 out, and that'll pretty much end the first half, you would think. Penrith get a scrum feed, but they're not rushing. I don't think they're capable of rushing at the moment. Such is the fatigue factor from the belting they're copping from Manly at the moment. Physically, 16-0 in favour of Manly. And Penrith very slowly coming back. There's 10 seconds left on the clock, 24 seconds left on their scrum clock. And they've still not yet packed. 3, 2, 1, and that's an agreed half-time. So we lost 20 or 30 seconds from the kickoff. We lose 30 seconds at the end. But Manly getting a standing ovation here. And why not? A magnificent first half. When the season goes on the line, Manly has responded. Penrith has not. And it's reflected in the scoreline, Andrew Ryan. Manly leading by 16 points to nil after a brilliant first half.
Well, they certainly came out here with aggression, their line speed, their contact. Manly, the atmosphere got them really fired up to start this contest, and they stuck with it for that full 40. They played some really controlled football as well. They were quite patient when they had the footy as well, and a really comprehensive 40 minutes of football from the Manly Sea Eagles.
Well, it's been the tale here, Dean Hallertau. Manly just came out and steamrolled Penrith, and the Panthers have looked startled pretty much ever since.
Yeah, they have. And just watching them walk off for half-time, they had a bit of a dejected look on a lot of the players' faces. We've seen that last scrum. A few players wanted to get there and set the scrum early to get a crack, but the rest of the scrum didn't want to be there with them. And I'm just looking down at the stats now. Manly have run for over 940 metres compared to Panthers 600. They've had 60% of possession, and Panthers have missed 25 tackles. So they've had to work really hard this first half, and they're behind 16 points. It's not an unassailable lead, but they need to find some energy from somewhere in the second half.
Well, indeed. Goodness, they have been a great second half team. Looking at some of the individual stats, Brian Kelly's run for 95 metres out at left centre. Trbojevic Jake, 70 metres and 18 tackles. An offload and a line break. Let me see, down the list. Josh Mansour, 71 metres for Penrith. Trent Merrin, 16 tackles for Penrith. Tom Trbojevic, 17 runs, 126 metres and 2 offloads. Tom Trbojevic in that first half. Akili Wate in the first half has run for 81 metres, and Peter Wallace up the centre, 30 tackles in that first half for Penrith. But there aren't many other stats of any pleasing nature for the Penrith Panthers, particularly in attack, as they're being monstered here by Manly at the moment. Half-time 16-0 for Manly, and the stats: tries to Brian Kelly in the 7th minute, Daly Cherry Evans in the 23rd, Jake Trbojevic in the 33rd minute, Matthew Wright 2 goals from 3 attempts. And to be honest, Penrith haven't looked like troubling the scoreboard attendance in that first half. The penalty count 3-2 to Manly. In the under-20s, Penrith sealed second position on the table with a 29-10 win over Manly, who will still make the finals regardless of any other results, in 7th or 8th position. Earlier in the under-20s at the Sydney Football Stadium, the Roosters 60 beat Gold Coast 24. We had a preliminary final in the New South Wales Cup, which went to extra time, and the Sydney Roosters scored twice in extra time, or rather Wyong Roos, I should say, the feeder club for the Roosters. Wyong beating 4th place Canterbury 34 points to 26, and that was the score there. In first grade, Roosters 20 beat Gold Coast 16 before a crowd of 11,212. Half-time here, it's one-sided. Very much one-way traffic in Manly's direction. They lead Penrith 16-0. Do the Panthers have yet another comeback in them? We'll find out shortly. But in the meantime, from Brookvale Oval, we send it back to the grandstand studio and Julian Abbott.
Andrew, thank you very much indeed. And the 3-2-1 in the voting for the Warren Ryan medal from the Roosters game this afternoon. Jake Friend got the 3, Ash Taylor got the 2, and Boyd Cordner got the 1 in the Warren Ryan medal votes from there this afternoon. This is Grandstand on ABC Radio. The National Rugby Championship got underway today. The Canberra Vikings beat Queensland Country 48 points to 40. The other game, Brisbane, they beat the newcomers Fiji 45 to 36 today. Golf, it is week 2 of the US PGA playoffs in Boston this week. They've had round 1 overnight. Dustin Johnson at 5 under's got a 1-shot lead. 4 players are next at 4 under, including the Australian Mark Leishman. Adam Scott is even par. Jason Day had a horror day. He had a 4 over 75 to be 9 off the pace there after round 1. The LPGA is off the pace there. The Italian Formula One Grand Prix is on this weekend. They've got P3 coming up shortly, although heavy rain falling at Monza, so there's some doubt as to whether it'll start on time. Overnight, Lewis Hamilton, he set the pace in P1 from his teammate Valtteri Bottas, and then they switched around for P2. In P1, Daniel Ricciardo was 5th quickest. In P1, they switched around for P2. In P1, Daniel Ricciardo was 5th quickest. In P2, it was Daniel Ricciardo's 6th quickest there. Grandstand on ABC Radio. It's halftime tonight at Brookvale. It's Manly 16, Penrith 0.
Take 5, a new ABC podcast.
Hey, this is Jake. drones. And Royal Darwin Hospital has stood down 2 doctors while it investigates sexual assault allegations. The Director of Medical Services says Flinders University
Williams, who's a newly minted aunt because Serena gave birth to a little baby girl overnight. She won a third-round match. Maria Sharapova also won a third-round match. Sloane Stephens beat the Australian Ash Barty 6-2, 6-4. Misha Zarev defeated the 10th seed John Eisner 6-4, 6-3, 7-6 in action overnight. More round 3 action coming up tonight. Rafael Nadal, he takes on Leonardo Mayer. And Roger Federer takes on Feliciano Lopez in third-round matches there. And the Aussie, John Millman, he's the last Australian left in the singles. He takes on the German Philipp Kohlschreiber. Kohlschreiber beat Millman a couple of years back in their only other meeting there. Ashley Barty lost a singles match, but she's still alive in the doubles with her partner Casey Delacroix. And Nick Kyrgios is back in action tonight in New York with his doubles partner Matt Reed. They take on the American combination of Bob and Mike Bryan in the second round of the doubles there at the US Open in New York. It's halftime of Brookvale. It's Manly 16, Penrith 0.
Spring is in the air, and in the latest issue of ABC Organic Gardener magazine, we look at the health benefits of getting out into your garden. Peter Cundall shares easy gardening techniques for people of all ages and abilities. We plant spring flowers ideal for allergy sufferers and show you how to make the perfect healthful herbal infusion. Plus, there's practical advice on growing mini pumpkins and table grapes. ABC Organic Gardener magazine, available from newsagents and abcshop.com.au.
Grandstand NRL.
On ABC Radio, Grandstand Digital, streaming online and on your mobile.
Good to have you on this on Saturday night. It's halftime. Manly 16 leading Penrith 0. Penrith, they won the 20s there 29-10. Roosters won the 20s 60 points to 24. They won the main game as well, 20 points to 16. Storm Raiders 20s game is coming up tomorrow. But a number of milestones to be made in Melbourne tonight with the Storm hosting the Raiders. Good evening, Tim Gable.
Good evening, Julian. Yes, you mentioned those milestones. Cameron Smith's 355th game. It will equal Darren winger Susilasi Vunivalu, Josh Adokar, and also Jordan Rapana from the Raiders remain in the race for the NRL's leading try scorer. And as well as that, given that the Melbourne Storm have already wrapped up the minor premiership, they will be receiving the shield tonight. Well, I just saw it out the back there just a moment ago. The Raiders, of course, can't make the finals. Conditions overcast here at Amy Park in Melbourne. And Melbourne coach Craig Bellamy has opted to rest lock Dane Finucane and bench forward Tim Glasby. Kenny Bromwich will start at lock, Joe Stimson, and Nate Miles come onto the bench. And worth noting too that Sia Soliola returns to the Canberra Raiders starting side. He was suspended for 5 weeks following that tackle at Canberra Stadium on Billy Slater. Alongside me is the former Raiders skipper Alan Tongue.
Yeah, it was a pretty brutal hit, wasn't it, Tim? And a lot of people thought at the ground, and we in the commentary box as well thought he should have been sent from the field. And it was a nasty shot. Billy Slater, that was well spoken about, the concussion that was caused by that. So there's going to be plenty of feeling in this game. And for the Raiders, well, they're just trying to finish the season with a bit of pride, with no chance of making that top 8. But the Melbourne Storm just continuing to roll on. And what a magnificent victory it was for them last week over the Bunnies. Such an impressive performance, attacking-wise, but defensively as well. They were just so strong, and they want to continue that momentum. You spoke about a couple of those players being rested. It'll be interesting to see how this game pans out and whether he, does give a break to a couple of his, big star players. We saw Cameron Smith got a little bit of an early mark, but, for me, this Melbourne Storm side is head and shoulders above the rest of the field. Only a few injuries to some key players, I think, can derail them. They have been been so impressive. These try-scoring freaks out wide there. Vunivalu, you spoke about, and Addo-Carr. Can they continue that? But it's just an exciting game. You talk about these milestones. There's a number of them. Cameron Smith, what an amazing player he has been, and he's going to continue to be for another couple of years. It doesn't look like he's going to slow up. So there's so many great things, and if there's one club that does milestone matches so well and their players live for them these games, it's the Melbourne Storm.
Yes, Nelson Asafa Solomon at 2 metres tall. He'll play his 50th NRL game tonight. It will be the last regular season game for Cooper Cronk, Tohu Harris and Jordan McLean in Storm colours. And Melbourne has won 6 in a row. The Raiders have won 3 from 6 here at Amy Park. The referee for tonight's game is Grant Atkins. As we head back to Brookvale, they are expecting an absolutely bumper crowd. No AFL here in Melbourne this weekend. A chance for the Melbourne Storm to showcase their talents and showcase rugby league in an AFL city, Andrew.
Well, Timmy, we've had a weekend of good crowds. We had a sellout at Townsville on Thursday night. We had 21,500 people at the Olympic Stadium last night. It looks very close to capacity here at Brookvale. 18,000 people, something around that mark, if it still holds that many. But however many this place can hold, it would be around about that figure tonight. And as you say, a big crowd expected there in Melbourne for Melbourne and the Canberra Raiders. And I would think, too, with some Newcastle will get a big crowd for their final home game that you'll be at tomorrow, Bobcat, against Cronulla. Old Boys Day always gets a big turnout. And I reckon at the Olympic Stadium with some of the deals on offer and so much on the line, we should get 20,000 plus for St George Illawarra and Canterbury as well.
Yeah, I agree. And as you mentioned, Newcastle tomorrow, it's their last home game and doing a 20-year celebration for the 97 side and also so much at stake for the Dragons fans tomorrow afternoon out there. Yeah. So you'd expect a lot of those. And also, as you mentioned, the great bargains there are to attend that game tomorrow afternoon. So it's really been a fantastic finish to the 26 rounds. And what an atmosphere out here this afternoon and some big contact. The players have certainly brought that intensity here this afternoon with this atmosphere. I still can't get over the line speed and the contact. And even Dylan Walker out here at right centre position, he was dead set out of a cannon a few times.
Can you keep that going for 80?
No, you can't. So it'll be really interesting to see if Trent Barrett tries to rein his troops in now. They were so emotional to start this game. Whether or not they come out here, I would expect them to be in a bit of a different headspace coming into this second half. Look, they'll have some line speed and they'll try and have some aggression, but there's no way you can continue to do that for that whole time. And as we saw, when they put so much into that line speed and contact for a few sets, they were out on their feet. So it's really making sure that they can do that measured, continue to get some line speed, but the most important thing, contact and control this game.
Well, Dean Hallertau, one thing we've come to learn with this Penrith side in the second half of the season in particular, no lead is big enough. They can run down a total. So Manly need to be wary of that, wary about letting Penrith get a sniff early in the second half.
Yeah, they certainly do. And I agree with Bobcat. You're going to see a different mentality from the Manly side when they come out. They will have a little bit of energy because they've been asked to make less tackles. I think about 40 tackles is a difference that Penrith have been asked to make 180 to Manly's 140. So, it's a really important stat when you're trying to conserve energy. But that line speed that they had pretty much for the entire first half, I haven't seen anything like that from them this year. Obviously, it goes to show the importance that this game is for them in front of their home crowd and obviously for a spot in the finals for the Panthers. They just got to try and stick with it. It's been an ambush for them coming out here, and they just got to get back in the process, not try and play around them like I said they tried to do a few times in that half, because they're just going to get eaten up by the Manly defence and they're going to run out of options. So they've got to get back to their process, bash the ball through the middle like they do well with their big boppers, and then look to Nathan Cleary and Tyron May to try and control things off the back of it, come up with some better finishes to their sets.
On the SMS, as the teams come out for the second half, 0467 920 222. Are there any players on the field wearing black boots, or am I old school, says Paul at Wattlegrove. You'll be struggling to find black boots these days. I can't see anyone with black boots.
It looks like it might be going full circle and the black boots might be coming back in at stages.
Well, who's got a black boot on out there?
Well, just get that feeling. I get that feeling it might change.
Tyson Frizzell loves a pair of black boots, so maybe he can lead the charge for everyone else.
He's leading the charge.
Another says, thanks for the fantastic commentary. What margin of defeat would drop Penrith below North Queenslanders? Starting to look at possibility now. Ask Benjamin. Yeah, 37 points the advantage coming into the game. for Penrith. That's now down to 21. So a 38-point loss for Penrith or worse would lift the Cowboys above Penrith on the table. They'll still have hopes of winning the game, and here we go for the second half. 16-0 to Manly, and the kickoff only travels 42 metres to Cherry Evans. He works the ball away to the left, and the Manly Sea Eagles have it from the kickoff back over their 20. And front rowers always tell you that's their goal from the kickoff. The ball is played now to Coruscant. Works the left to Akili Iwate. Every time they hit the ball up, they look like punching their head through the line. And Iwate's tackled by Wallace. Coruscant sends it left. Jake Trebojevic away to Tom Trebojevic. Here they go already. He accelerates past Wonga Blake. He's over the 40. Can he leg up? No. Blake brings him down. 22 out. He plays the ball to Kelly. Penrith barely onside. Kelly beats a dreadful attempt at tackle by Watney Gillespie, and Tom Trebojevic scores. Oh, Manly! They are carving this Penrith team to pieces.
Confirm that Tom Trebojevic is not out of play.
So it's gone to the bunker, but it looks for the world like a Manly try to Tom Trebojevic.
We've got to try. Confirm that Tom Trebojevic is not out of play, please, mate.
So what does he mean by that, Andrew Ryan? Is he
Tom Trebojevic plays the ball, therefore he's not out of play. Dally Cherry Evans is out of play, therefore he cannot participate in the play.
So then it's Kelly, 22 out, steps straight past some dreadful defence from Watney Gillespie. Got it back to Tom Trebojevic. That'll be a try to Manly.
That's try time for Manly. What a start to this second half.
And Tom Trebojevic has grounded the ball in the end goal. Have a decision going to the board.
So 47 seconds into the second half. The Cowboys' final hopes increase. Penrith decrease. Manly are in. It's now 20-0. Manly leading Penrith. What a start to the second half by the Sea Eagles.
Well, it was danger on this right edge. Earlier on in the first half, we saw Jake Trebojevic go out the back to his brother Tom, who then handed it on to Walker. To Kelly on that left edge. This time Tom Trebojevic got the ball out the back and he just hit it through the hole. He stayed really patient, decided to play the ball, and then Kelly jumps out of dummy half, steps back, and it just opened up for Tom Trebojevic. Everything that's been said to the Panthers at half time, straight out the window.
So Matthew Wright will check in on the touchline after the kick. The referee is right in my field of view here, but he's about 17 out, 14 in for the Western touchline. Let's move a bit to the left, Matt, will you? Here comes Wright. 20-0 to Manly. Here he comes with the left boot, northern end. He strikes it. It's hooking, but it's enough. It's in. He gets the goal. Matt Wright 3 from 4. Manly 22, Penrith 0. Dean Hallertau through 42 minutes. This is an absolute carver.
Oh, what a start for Manly, and it started with the Trebojevic brothers, as Bobcat called. Jake out the back to Tom, and then he gassed Wonga Blake, and Wonga Blake did well to reel him in with one hand, but Brian Kelly, very smart from him. He jumped out, found a bit of space, and then stepped back and picked up his fullback in Tom Trebojevic, who crosses over the line again, and Manly just looking very dangerous once more to start the second half.
In answer to our listener on text, Corbin Middlemass assures me that Ash Taylor wore black boots today at the Sydney Football Stadium and picked up 2 Warren Ryan medal points.
There you go.
Coincidence? I think not. Here's Manly with the footy. 22 out, 23 out from their own line. Centre of the ground. The ball will be played to Coruscant from Dylan Walker. He takes off from dummy half. Penrith can barely get back 10 metres, and he's taken 13 short of halfway. 22-0 to Manly. The ball played out of dummy half goes Cherry Evans. He beats one again. They're already up to halfway, Manly, and he popped the pass Perrott. Left to Jake Trebojevic to Winterstein. He fends away easily from Blake, who come at him, but they're 28 metres out, Manly. Carving Penrith to bits. The ball played to Wright. Sends it right to Green. Then away to Tom Trebojevic. Slows it down. Links up to his right with Brenton Lawrence. And he stands in the tackle. 22 out from the Penrith goal line. It's 22-0 to Manly. Last tackle Manly. Coruscant to Cherry Evans. A stab kick. Getting him back there far right. Didn't know whether to let it go or take it. He takes it, and he's claimed 4 out from his own line. 3 minutes 30 gone second half. Manly leading 22-0 as Mansour hits it up, but he can only get to the 10-metre line, and he's put to the ground 15 in, or make it 11 in from touch. Eastern side of the field, northern end. Mansour plays it. Comes away right to Tyrone Peachy. He's put on his back, 20 out from his own line. So what are we? 3 tackles in, and they're still inside their 20. Now a strong run from Faray, takes him to the 30, tackled by Jake Trebojevic and Coruscant. That head tape is about to come off his melon, Coruscant. Now back on the inside, it goes to Bryce Cartwright. scene. He dribbles one out the back to Tim Brown, runs over the top of Blake Green, and then he's got still nowhere to go. This Manly defence just is so good. 12 short of halfway for Wallace. Away to Cleary from inside the 40. Picks out Uarte. Nicely on the full. 17 out from his own line. Over the 20, over the 30. And he's going to get mid-quarter. He's own territory, Uarte. 4 gone second half. Manly 22. Lead Penrith 0. Ball played. It comes to the left side of the field to Matthew Wright, who seems to have recovered from that shoulder injury. And there's an easy 10 or 12 metres. 4 short of halfway. Played to Kelly. He takes off from dummy half. Nearly beat them. Holding on for dear life on that occasion. 9 metres in Penrith territory was Brown. It's played. They sent it open side right to Green. They're running amok. Cherry Evans steps in field and he's taken 1-on-1. 32 out from the goal line by Isaiah Yeo. Coruscant works it left to Lloyd Perrott. Perrott runs straight and hard again. He's up to within 21 metres of the goal line. Stands in the tackle there of Fisher Harris and also Brown. Last tackle. Coruscant sends it left to Green. Stab kick off feet. Played at. Knocked on by Kelly. Gee, that was bad luck for Manly. It was played up that by Penrith, but off the body rather than the hand. So the Kelly knock on counts. And Penrith will get a fortuitous scrum feed. 17 out from their own line. 5 gone second half. Manly 22, Penrith 0.
And didn't they need that, the Panthers? They were just hanging on these last couple of sets. Manly are just full of running and out of dummy half. They are just exploding through there at the moment. Arku, Brian Kelly just chewing them apart in the middle of the park, and now the Panthers get an opportunity. They need to try and hang on to the ball, build some field position and some pressure on this Manly side.
About the defence of Coruscant, just another good hit there on Watney Zelezniak as Penrith sent it left to Isaiah Yeo. Got past Dylan Walker, but there is just no way through at the moment for Penrith. They're on their own 30, trailing 22-0 in a game that means so much. Wallace sends it right to Fisher Harris, and he's bustled to the turf. 12 metres short of halfway by Coruscant and Perrott. Centre of the ground, Wallace sends it right to Cleary. Hand off on the inside to Harawira and Naira, but Jake Trebojevic and Frank Winterstein are there, and they combine well in defence. 2 metres short of halfway. Wallace works it left to Cleary. At the line, he offloads to May. Back on the inside to Isaiah Yeo. Bit of shape at last for Penrith, and he's put to the ground 8 metres inside Manly territory. Wallace sends the ball left. Tyrone May with a high kick, but Tom Trebojevic will take it just inside his 20 under in fact, no pressure. There wasn't a chaser within 10 metres of him. He's caught 32 out from his own line. Cleary limping a little in back play as Kelly takes on the line again. Oh, easily past Fisher Harris. Over halfway, put down now metre in the Penrith territory by Cleary, who's really got the hobbles out there. Now it's Matthew Wright. He runs into Fisher Harris. He's going to be held up. 32, 30, 29, 28. They cannot put anybody down. He is still going. That's 15 metres after contact, and he'll play it 20 metres out. He lands on his chest about 19 out. The jersey's gone over his head. He doesn't know where he is. He'll pull the jersey back down. Oh, there's the lights. Now he plays it to Coruscant. The green on the inside of Lloyd Perrott. And Perrott's held up 20 out for the Penrith line. 7 gone second half. There was a flick out the back, but after you heard the referee yelled out held, and Perrott will play 20 out. Then there's some silly play there in the play of the ball from Campbell Gillard.
That could have nearly been a penalty.
I'm with you, but they don't get one, Manly. As Green sends it left to Winterstein. Harawira Naira in defence. 10 out from the Penrith goal line. 11 in from the Western touchline. Last tackle, Manly, Coruscant. He sends it right to Green. Dummies, puts in a crossfield stab kick, and it's picked up. Penrith have it. 10 out from their own line. They survive there. But they're down 22-0 with 32.5 minutes left. Down to the touchline we go. Dean Hallertau.
Well, what about Brian Kelly today? He got dropped back to reserve grade a few weeks ago just to work on his defence. His defence has been outstanding, but with the ball, he's got so much confidence at the moment. He's run for over 110 metres. He scored a try and set up one. So big game from the young guy today.
Here's a shoulder charge from Dylan Walker. I reckon it's close to his third attempt. He's probably got away with the previous couple, but the arm flew up there
I'll
from
tell you
Dylan.
what, he might be pretty nervous. I know it looked like there wasn't much in that, but they've showed their hand through the year, the match review committee, and that's in this position in the 31. That's dumb play there from Dylan Walker.
Here's Isaiah Yeo doing something I haven't seen many people do. That's beat Jake Trebojevic in defence. He's claimed 5 metres in Manly territory. Wallace. Great defence, Manly. This is the story of the game as a frustrated Gillard is in there pushing and shoving. Wadney Jalesniak jumps into the pile as Matt Wright had done. That's all pushing and shoving and no more than that, but they're frustrated. That's all pushing and shoving and no more than that, but they're frustrated Penrith. This Manly defence has them completely bamboozled.
Well, it was a nice bit of play there from the Panthers. Peter Wallace got the offload from Tyrone May out the back and he took off, and Brian Kelly came from dead set nowhere. As soon as Cleary got the ball, that's a big moment in this second half.
I've got some good and bad news for Penrith. The good news is if they lose by less than 37, they're still sweet. It'll be the Cowboys' head on the chopping block. The bad news is they could well play Manly in the first week of the finals, couldn't they?
Wow.
As now Manly have the footy 20 metres out from their own line. The ball is played to now Manly have the footy 20 metres out from their own line. The ball is played to Api Coruscant. He works it right. Manly get inside the 30. Half an hour to go. Manly leading 22-0 and Penrith give away a penalty. 29 out from their own line. Peachy was in the tackle with May, and that helps Manly significantly. They're fourth of the night, 3 penalties to Penrith, and they'll find touch on the eastern side of the field, down to Dean Hallertau on the touchline.
Look, the difference, we spoke about the halves before the game, and the experience of the Manly halves seem to be what's getting them in front at the moment. And another guy to add to that is Jake Trbojevic. He's been playing like a spare half. He knows when to carry the ball hard and tough, but also he's got the hands that can come up with a nice pass and a nice play at the right time.
Brenton Lawrence from the tap restart, Dino. He's tackled 9 metres in Penrith territory. Their metres after contact are phenomenal, Manly. Campbell Gillard finally off him. Played to Coruscant. They send it left. Out the back it comes. Joining the line, Tom Trbojevic. Floats a pass. Well held by Matt Wright. 22 out. Steps in field. Bends away from Wonga Blake. He comes back at him over the top with Wallace. 13 out. Manly on the charge. You'd think it's nearly game set bingo. They can score here. They send it right. Jake Trbojevic, Coruscant. Out the back to Green. Then away it comes to support Sirinen. And he's tackled 12 out from the Penrith goal line. 20 in from the eastern touchline. Northern end. Manly up 22-0 and threatening for many more points. Green on the inside, Perrott. The defence goes down low and he's claimed. 8 metres out, it was Trent Merrin back on the field. Play to Coruscant. Works it right, Cherry Evans on the last. Stab kick in goal. Nobody back there for Penrith. And finally, Peachy comes through to beat Walker to the ball. Taps it dead. Fair bit of verbal between Walker and Peachy. Line drop out Penrith. 28.5 minutes left. Manly to get the footy back, leading Penrith by 22-0.
What about the skill set across this whole Manly side? Every single one of them, every time they go to the line, they've got the ability to play footy, offload, have a look. They play what they see. It's so refreshing to watch this team play here this afternoon. Fantastic touch there from Cherry Evans on the repeat set. Oh, another big set here for the Panthers.
Line drop out from Cleary, sails over halfway, so 59 metres on the full. Taken by Tom Trbojevic, gives it away to Lloyd Perrott, crosses halfway, hit in the tackle. He's had a few offloads and they wrap him up ball and all. It was Blake in there with Faray and Harawira-Naira, 4 metres in Penrith territory. Now they work it to the right to Lawrence, and he's skipping through Merrin. Still going with his feet after contact, 37 away from the Penrith line. Played Coruscant, works it right. It goes from Green to Jake Trbojevic to Cherry Evans. Tyrone May, good tackle from behind in the end. 26 out from the Penrith goal line eastern side. Now Walker out of dummy half. In the tackle, he flings the pass out the back door to Green. He sends it left to Turbo Tom. He floats a pass, bounces up for Matthew Wright outside the 30. He straightens and makes some ground into the defence and popped a pass away to Tom Trbojevic. Look out, he's 25 metres out, gets to the 20, stops, props, defence catches him. Campbell Gillard in there with 2 others, 20 metres out right in front. The ball played to Coruscant. Manly leading 22-0 Green. On the inside to Curtis Sirinen. I'm going to call it early. Game, set, bingo. Sirinen scores and he's come back from injury. Manly are flogging Penrith 26-0. They could be playing Penrith out of the finals. 26-0, 27 to go. Curtis Sirinen the try.
Well, that was just all too easy there for Sirinen, wasn't it? We saw this play time and time again in the first half. Blake Green turning Sirinen under, but there was nothing much doing at all. It was just a one-on-one miss there, straight up the middle of the park. Curtis Sirinen just strolls over, slams the ball down. Wow, that's big for Manly.
So Manly 28-0, or it will be after the kick, currently 26-0. And Dean Hallertau, Manly's been superb. There's dancing in the aisles in front of us here, and why not? But I tell you what, for Penrith, this is turning sour, not just for the game, but for their hopes of making the 8.
Yeah, they'll be nervous at the moment, and Manly, this is the most consistent performance I've seen from them all year. And on that occasion, as Bobcat called, there wasn't much doing, but on previous times when Curtis Sirenan's dropped back under, he kept crabbing across field. He straightened the attack up on that occasion, bumped off Pete Wallace, and then was able to stroll over. It was a good piece of individual footwork and strength by him to get over the line, as you said, in his return match from injury. So Manly just dominating the Panthers here.
See, this looks like it could get really ugly, because Manly aren't slowing down, and Penrith, I think, in this second half have slowed down considerably.
They are on a mission to score points. Every single time they run it, they're looking to promote the ball.
Here's Wright, 10 metres out, just to the right of the post, after Curtis Sirenan Crosby, his 6th try of the year. He moves in with the left boot. He sends it into the crowd on the Family Hill. Matthew Wright's kick ball from 5. Manly 28, Penrith 0. If Penrith lose by a margin of 38, they will fall into the slot, which means they'll be eliminated tomorrow if St George Illawarra beats Canterbury. The boys and girls in Townsville are pumping the air like Leighton Hewitt used to on a tennis court. Here's the kickoff from Dallin Watney-Zelezniak. He sends it inside the 10. It's taken by Cherry Evans. Gives it away to Martin Tapau, who comes back on, and he runs straight through Harawira Naira. There are some swinging gates and a gale out there at the moment for Penrith. Now it's a Lloyd Perrott. Hasn't he been good? He's over the 30 Perrott, and he stands now. He hits the deck 14 short of halfway. 18 in from the western touchline. It's played Coruscant. Then Jake Trbojevic inside of Tommy, holding onto his jersey for dear life was Harawira Naira, and eventually slowed him 2 metres in Penrith's half. They send it left green, away to Winterstein. Wallace down low and Merrin over the top with the tackle. 39 out from the Penrith line. 24 and a half minutes still to play, and it's Manly leading 28-0. There's now Tapau, big collision, away from 2-3. He's over the 30, great charge. He'll play it 24 out from the goal line to Coruscant on the last. They're stacked to the left, comes away to Green. Little banana kick off the outside of his boot. Campbell Gillard got back there, did very well to take it in goal, but he's nailed by the coming defence there, particularly of Blake Green, who followed through that kick. Line drop out Penrith. 24 minutes left. Manly 2-8, 28, Penrith 0.
Oh, again, great touch. It was Blake Green's turn this time for the repeat set. He looked like he was going to put it over in the corner, in behind Wanga Blake, and he shapes that way off the outside of his foot, shapes it back in, and Campbell Gillard did a fantastic job to be on the spot, but they knocked him back in the end goal. And another repeat set here for Manly.
Line drop out, Sales 54 metres this time to Cherry Evans. Gives it away to Lloyd Perrott. He goes over the 40 straight past them, past Wallace. And the tackle made 26 metres out. Or you can sniff another try here. Green sends it right to Marty Tapau. He's over the 20. He's held up 15 metres out from the goal line. He'll play the ball to Coruscant. 28-0 to Manly with still 23 and a half to go. Green, lovely inside ball. Comes from Walker to Tom Trbojevic. 14 out. He goes left to right. Step in a jump or a skip, hop and a jump or something. He'll play it 11 out from the goal line. Now it's out of dummy half. Coruscant beat Harawira Naira, who looks exhausted, and he's claimed only a metre out from the goal line. Climbing off in the defence eventually. It's played. It comes away to Green. Back on the inside to Tapau. Looks for a way through. Can he find one? No. Dragged to the ground by Cleary and also Cartwright. 3 metres out from the goal line. He'll play it on the last tackle, Coruscant. Sends it right to Green. Then away, Cherry Evans. Step kick in goal. Back there is Watney-Zelezniak. Dean Hallertau, he had no choice but to run it dead. Line drop out, another set of 6 coming from the rampaging Manly Seagulls.
Yeah, and once again, it's the halfback and Daly Cherry Evans coming up with a nicely weighted kick into the end goal. We've seen it from Blake Green on the previous set. Daly Cherry Evans on this occasion, they're really controlling the game. And as Bobcat said earlier, every time they touch the ball, Manly, someone looks to break the line. Someone wants to score a try. They're promoting it on every occasion. I see more points coming soon.
Just seeing a Manly legend before us in a suit, high-fiving everyone with a big cheesy grin on his dial. The Beaver, Steve Menzies. Here's the line drop out. Oh, they're getting short of the foot's getting tired of Cleary. 48 metres that time. Cherry Evans gives it away to Jake Trbojevic, and he stopped in his tracks. 32 out from the Penrith goal line. 22 minutes to go, and it's 28-0 to Manly. Very comprehensive this as Green loses the ball, went through his hands. Put on the toe by Campbell Gillard. Great effort by the big fellow, but the knock-on is ruled against Green. So it'll be a Penrith scrum feed. I've got to say, Bobcat, we can see how tired they are, Penrith. They're barely making any tackles at the moment. For them to hold on for 3 sets of 6 in a row is quite remarkable.
Yeah, that was huge. And look, the only reason they did on this occasion, Blake Green just lost his train of thought there, his concentration. And we've seen now, you look at this Panthers defensive unit on the previous set, they've made a significant change. Dean Farday comes back to the right centre position, Wanga Blake onto the right wing, and Watney Zelezniak back to fullback. So whether or not that's to try and shore up this right edge of the Panthers, I'm not too sure, but the change has been needed for a while.
Penrith have it, 2 short of halfway, and the ball played by the replacement, Sione Katoa for Wallace. They send it left to right, and it goes from Cleary to Watney Zelezniak. He's rounded up 10 metres in Manly territory. So the need for points is real for Penrith. Down by 28-0 with 21 to go. Not just to, you don't think they can get back in this game, but they've got to be very wary. They're for and against here. They're 34 metres out. It's played by Merrin to Katoa. Sends it left to Cleary. Takes on the line again, but nothing doing. Lovely tackle by Perrott. 24 out. Last tackle. Played to Katoa. Ran into the marker. He puts in a kick. Goes behind Tom Trebojevic. He plucks it out of the air one-handed and gets into the field of play. Did he know? It's ruled that the ball ends up on the goal line, which is part of the in-goal area. I thought he managed to get it back, but the ruling is a goal line dropout. The kick from Katoa. Brilliant take, one-handed by Tom Trebojevic. He's rounded up by May. And, yeah, they're probably right. He's probably on the goal line. Goal line dropout for Manly, lead 28 now.
It was a nice little kick there from Katoa, but again on that play, it was last play. Nathan Cleary was the man playing the ball again. And, look, I don't know if it's fatigue from his ball runners, but him and Tyrone May have been caught with the ball so many times tonight. And Nathan Cleary, that's about the 4th time on last play.
Line dropout. May takes. Gives it away to his left, and there's some solid contact coming in on by Jake Trebojevic. 34 out from the Manly goal line. The ball's played now by Campbell Gillard. It comes right across field to Isaiah Yeo. He struggled to be involved. 29 out from the Manly line. Is Bryce Cartwright out there, by the way? Katoa. He sends it right to Merrin. He's over the 20. And he's scored 17 out. He is, but he's doing a fair bit of standing around. Katoa back on the inside to Clear. I suppose they haven't had the ball, though, have they? May sends a cutout pass. It bounces on a worm, and then up for Josh Mansour. He's straightening the defence up to within 9 metres of the goal line. 20 in from the eastern touchline, southern end. He'll play the ball to Sione Katoa. He works it right. There's Bryce Cartwright. Pass away across the face to Merrin, but the defence up in his dial again, and he's caught 9 out in front of the southern post. Last tackle, Penrith. 19 left. They trail 28. They send it right, Cleary. Stab kick in goal. Back there is right. And with the left hand, he palms it over the dead ball line. Goal line drop out, Manly. 19 minutes left. Manly 28, leading Penrith 0. For and against differential. Penrith still 9 points to Cowboys, but we've still got a fair bit of time to go. Manly a line drop out here.
Yeah, that's the Nathan Cleary, going to the line, showing inside and outside. Puts a nice little touch in to build some pressure. Good play, good footy from the Panthers. They need to continue to take some juice out of this Manly outfit.
You don't normally, when we're at a game and you get a crowd figure, you often think it's not that many. Here, I'm constantly overestimating. I'm always surprised that the crowd is lower than what it seems. A great turnout here, but it's 14,423. 14,423. Wonderful atmosphere as the Panthers have it through Tony out from the line. Play to Katoa to Cleary. Back on the inside left to Trent Merrin, taken by Tapau and Coruscant fighting, rolls it along the ground rugby union style, then it's juggled, picked up by Tyrone May, steps, trips, ducks, gets back to his feet. He's finally tackled 7 metres out by Marty Tapau. He plays the ball to Sione Katoa, dummies, goes himself, he's just short of the goal line. Desperate defence again from Manly, and getting back there was Coruscant, among others. They send a pass between players back to the 20, Campbell Gillard. Tucks it under the right arm, and Coruscant, another great tackle. 10 out from the goal line. He had help as well coming from Lawrence. They send it right to Cleary. Back on the inside to Dean Farray. It's still the last tackle. Back to Cleary. Sends it along the ground to Matthew Wright. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. This Penrith team has been very ordinary today because Manly has just battered them out of the contest. and they've been looking at the stars, Penrith, as Manly continue this 17 out for their own line. They've had to defend 2 sets of 6 there, I think for the first time today, and they've done it extremely well. In fact, 3 sets of 6. Manly have it 24 out for their own line, down to the touchline, Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, and Dylan Walker with a strong carry through the middle. Just a bit of an injury concern for touch judge Jeff Eunice. We've seen him getting a bit of treatment in his left hammy before. He's struggling.
Oh, no. So he's battling on gamely, Jeff Eunice. Ralph Tucker's the standby touch judge, as I understand it. He's loosening up down there. Manly, 5 short of halfway. Clearing kick from Blake Green. Down to the northwestern corner. Watney Zelezniak fields at 20 out from his own line. Runs right across field, and Daly Cherry Evans says thank you for that. He rounds him up with Jake Trebojevic, 27 metres out from the goal line.
Is he in doubt for the semis?
Jeff Eunice? Well, it'd have to be under some sort of cloud. Meanwhile, Tyrone Peachy beats 1 tackle. Now that was Green. Now he's put down 10 metres short of halfway and set a field by Jake Trebojevic. Mansour looked like he was going to hit up, but he sent it right to James Tarmo. He's over halfway. Bash to the ground, 3 metres in Manly territory. 16 minutes left. 28-0 to Manly. Comes left to Cleary. He sends the ball away to May. Then to Isaiah Yeo. Good angled run. Beats 2-3. Tom Trebojevic to beat. Yeo, what a tackle! Turbo Tom brings him down, 17 out. The ball played to Katoa. He sends it right to Cleary. He crosses the 10. Ball knocked down by Manly. Tom Trebojevic, 6 to go. Comes away in the hands there of Bryce Cartwright. Cartwright across field. A little dipsy doodle back to Mansour. He straightens into Tapau. He's half a metre out. He'll play it next to the post. Katoa dummy, half away to Tarmo. He's nailed by the defence again and knocked it on. It was not a good pass. He had to go up for it, and the Manly defence awesome again. So they'll get a scrum feed. 10 out for their own line. 15 minutes to go. Manly 28. Penrith duck egg.
Let's reflect on that tackle from Tom Trebojevic again. It was an awesome run from Isaiah Yeo, straight up the middle of the park, 1-on-1. Isaiah Yeo flying through, and Tommy T did a fantastic job just to chop him down. And then a couple of plays later, his middlemen turn up for him as well and save the day.
So now the scrum to be fed. Manly 10 out from their own line. 28-0 Manly, 15 minutes left. And the scrum will be fed by the Sea Eagles. So Penrith still 9 points ahead of North Queensland in the for and against differential, heading into this last quarter hour. About to come onto the field for the first time for Manly is Lewis Brown, as Manly wins the scrum, and it's with Matt Wright. He's tackled 13 out from his own line. He'll play the ball. Coruscant sends it left to Kelly. He's been very good today too, out in the left centre position, Kelly. He'll play 24 out from his own line. Tackled there by Cleary and Katoa. Coruscant works it right to Tapau. Still to come tonight, the record equaling game for Cameron Smith, game 355 for Melbourne against Canberra. Curtis Sirenen comes off for a nice round of applause. The 6-hitter change for Manly as Akili Awate hits it up at pace. He's tackled 9 metres short of halfway. 20 in from the western touchline. Played to Coruscant. Way to Green and on the inside to Lawrence. He runs into Tarmo and he's tackled a metre short of halfway. 14 minutes 24 to go. And the scoreline 28-0 to Manly. Last tackle, Coruscant way to Green. Drills a kick downfield. Down to Watney Zelezniak, who's playing at fullback now. He crosses the 20 and he's going to be taken. 30 out from his own line. Now, Dylan Edwards won't be back until a preliminary final. It is almost impossible to imagine Penrith making a preliminary final at the moment, but he won't be back until then, so they're going to have stopgaps at fullback for whatever is left for them this season until then. Here's Cartwright. Green's got him ball and all, and he's nailed comfortably 9 short of halfway. 18 in from the western touchline. He'll play the ball now to Cleary. Sends it open side left away to Merrin. He pops one out the back door. Beautifully handled by Watney Zelezniak. Runs into some ball and all defence from Kelly and Winterstein. 5 metres in Manly's half. Played to Farray. Sends it left away to Cartwright. Flat pass to his left to Campbell Gillard. He's nailed. 34 out from the Manly line. Centre field. Last tackle it is now for Penrith. The ball played to Katoa. Away to Cleary. Stab kick down to the southeastern corner. Uate's there. Dives on the ball in time. 2 metres out from his own line. 20 in from the eastern touchline. 13 and a bit to go. Manly 28 leading Penrith 0 as now Trebojevic has tackled 8 out from his own goal line for Manly.
Well, obviously a lot needs to happen for the Panthers still to stay alive for next week, but let's hope for their cause Matt Moylan can come back into their side, because I think the little project tonight where they've put Wanga Blake at right centre hasn't worked for them. He's been under the pump as we see the Panthers give away another penalty.
Well, Regan Campbell-Gillard, such great form coming into this game. He's been struggling out there, and I think frustration's really got the best of him as he gives away the penalty there, and Manly have it 22 out from their own goal line. Earlier today, the Roosters clinched second, beating Gold Coast, but they had to score 2 tries in their last 10 minutes to do it, 20-16. So Sydney Roosters will play Brisbane in a qualifying final. Melbourne will play Parramatta in a qualifying final. That'll be at Amy Park. The Roosters-Brisbane game will be at the Sydney Football Stadium. When and where we can't confirm. Cherry Evans gets it left to Martin Tapau. We think Roosters-Brisbane will be Friday night, and Manly-Parramatta will be the first game on the Saturday at either 4 or 5:45. That's still up for debate, apparently. Here's Green away. Oh, that's a strong run by Darcy Lussick, and strong contact coming as well from Cartwright, just short of the halfway stripe. They send it right to Green, links up with Cherry Evans, dummies inside, goes outside to Dylan Walker. Mansour in off the wing to make the tackle. 5 metres inside Manly's half, 10 in from the eastern touchline. Played to Cherry Evans. It's 28-0 to Manly. Lewis Brown is on the field. Runs into Tamo, and Campbell-Gillard flung to the ground 10 metres in Penrith territory. 20 in from touch eastern side. Ball played to Coruscant. He works to left to Jake Trebojevic, and he's wrapped up 35 out from his own line. Coruscant sends it left to Cherry Evans. Up she goes, the high kick. Targeting Peachy on the right wing. Peachy takes it very, very well. 16 out from his own line. Penrith have the footy back. 11 minutes, 20 left to play. Manly 28, Penrith 0. As now Watton-Lesniak has lifted up, and the referee ruling put in a dangerous position. Penalty to Penrith. 18 out. Coruscant scratching his head from the tackle, and just having a look at the replay of that. He came in. They did lift him in the dangerous position. It wasn't the heaviest landing, but that's an automatic penalty. It goes to Penrith. 18 out for their own line. Down to the touchline, Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, he won't have anything to answer for that, I don't think, up beside Coruscant. But the one thing I love what Manly's done, their forwards have got through so much work defensively. Their line speed's been outstanding, as we mentioned. But then the contribution of their outside backs getting out of trouble and working down the field has been enormous. All their centres and their wingers have contributed with plenty of metres in the yardage sets.
So now it's Penrith. They've got the footy. 6 metres inside Manly territory. Just had an incident with my the glasses here, Bobcat.
Oh, no, Maury. Oh. Look out.
I'm looking at our technician Phil Ullman for some tape desperately. Penrith 30 metres out. Katoa plays it to Cleary. Dummies left. Goes to the right side. Cartwright. Then back on the inside to Dean Farray, and he's caught burrowing. 17 metres out from the Manly line. 10 minutes to go. Manly leading 28-0 over Penrith. Here's Cleary. He dummies. Beats one. Threatened to flick pass, but he's claimed by Jake Trebojevic and Green. 8 metres out. Last tackle again. Cleary caught on the last. Katoa sends it left to May. Out the back. Watton-Lesniak. Nowhere to go. A one-hander back to Campbell-Gillard. He keeps getting it on the last. Back now to Cleary. He puts in a stab kick in goal. Tom Trebojevic is there. He fields it. He charges it. The chase and gets back in the field of play. Great strength, Tom Trebojevic. Manly 28, Penrith 0. It's 40 left to play in the second half. As the Seagulls, Penrith desperate to score points and not conceding more because they're 9 points in front of the Cowboys. And here's a penalty given away by Tamo. Penalty goes to Manly, 5 metres out from their own goal line.
Yeah, not square at marker there, James Tamo. They just got excited. They had Manly in a great position in this corner here. Third play, and he just jumps the gun there, goes too early and gives away a penalty. It was a nice little play, the kick. It ended up getting back, even though Nathan Cleary played the ball ended up finding its way back to him, and he put a little left foot kick in this time, but Tom Trebojevic again managed to get out of his in-goal area.
They've been ultra impressive, the Seagulls here. And the tap is taken. Brian Kelly up over the 40. Good run. His metres after contact again. About 8 of them. Tapau comes off. And coming back on the field, Brenton Lawrence for Manly as they work at right green. Short ball away, centre field. And Lussick's got it 5 metres short of halfway. 28-0 the Seagulls. At half-time it was 16-0. Coruscant. He sends the ball right to Cherry Evans. Back on the inside it goes. So Manly will make the finals with this victory. No questions asked. The Seagulls into the finals next weekend. 3 metres in Penrith territory. It's played. They send it left green. Out the back, Tom Trebojevic to Winterstein. Great tackle. Farray nailed him and forced an error. Yeah, he did. Great tackle by Farray. Defending in the front line again now after starting at fullback. And the knock-on comes from Winterstein. So Penrith will get a scrum feed. 12 short of halfway. 8 minutes left. Manly 28, Penrith 0.
Very solid contact there. And it was a nice little play again from Manly. Tom Trebojevic going to the line side and then gave a ball to Frank Winterstein. And Barre just blindsided him, just came up and in and forced the error. Big play there from the centre, or fullback.
So now the scrum will come. 12 short of halfway. Let's check in on the touchline. Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, just on Jeff Eunice. Hammy watch. He's still stretching it out, and Jared Sutton's on standby.
Oh, he's doing stretch now, right on that 40-metre line.
He's going to need some intense work through the week.
He's toughing it out, Jeff Eunice. That's what they say about him. It comes away now to Isaiah Yeo. Good run again, up to within a metre of halfway. 19 in from the eastern touchline. He'll play the ball to Peachy. He goes from dummy half. Ball tucked under his left arm. Bounced out of one now, claim. 5 metres in Manly's territory. 28-0 to Manly. 7.5 minutes left. Katoa sends the ball right. Cut out past to Cleary. Dummies takes them on again. Jake Trebojevic tackles him again. 32 out for the Manly line. Play to Katoa. He works the ball left to Tamo. Then out the back it goes to May. Cut out pass finds Peachy. He steps in field and in and away. Then got an offload away to Mansour coming in from the wing, but he's claimed. 14 metres out from the Manly goal line. 5 in from touch, south-eastern corner. Now May. Drifts from left to right. It's all in slow motion. Then got the pass to Tamo, who skipped through Coruscant. Now he's claimed 9 metres out. Last tackle, Penrith. Katoa works it right to Cleary. Cleary dummy. Sends it back. Oh, intercepted! It's taken by Manly's Winterstein over the 30. Over the 40, Campbell Gillard. Well done. What a chase. He makes the tackle 9 short of halfway. 6 minutes 48 to go. Penrith can ill afford that. Here's Kelly. A flat pass to him, and he's caught 2 metres short of halfway towards the centre of the ground. He'll play it to Apposite Coruscant. He works it right to Matt Wright. Campbell Gillard goes high and misses. And he's held up by Fisher, Harris and Tamo. 5 metres in Penrith's half. He's to his feet. Played to Coruscant. That's the shortest 10 metres I've seen all year. Matt Chechen's doing well. He's getting back 10 metres, but at the moment Penrith about 3. Now in the charge goes Tom Trebojevic over the 30. He'll stand in the tackle 28 metres out from the Penrith line. Last tackle Manly. Comes left to Green. Puts in a stab kick to the northwestern corner. And it goes beyond Wonga Blake over the touchline. 6 metres out from the goal line. Scrum feed for Penrith on their own 10. 6 minutes to go. Manly 28. Penrith 0. Now the scenario is if Penrith lose 28-0, they're going to make the finals. Because their for and against will still be superior to the Cowboys. So that's the good news for them.
Well, they've got possibly 3 sets to defend here. They've got an opportunity with the ball now, the Panthers, and obviously all the hands on deck. They need to continue to find something, this Panthers side. It's crazy that this is how it's going to finish up for the end of this round.
We always talk about for and against making a difference. It rarely does. But Dean Hallertau, it does now.
It certainly does. And the interesting thing that you said before, if they meet in the first round of the finals, after losing 28-0, you've got to think that the Panthers will come with a different plan and they want to start as strong as Manly have tonight. So it makes for an interesting week 1 of the finals.
It will. I think Manly will be licking their chops. Here's a penalty to Penrith. Hand on the football. Quick tap taken. Peachy's away. He's over the 40. Steps past a slipping Kelly. Now he's claimed 3 metres into Manly territory. After Penrith won that penalty. Now it's Nathan Cleary. Flat pass to May. Straight past Coruscant. He'll score between the posts. Now I am right, aren't they? This means Penrith make the final. Now there's a bit of push and shove there with Brendan Lawrence. Cleary involved. Tom Trebojevic comes in. Try gets awarded. Push and shove ensues. 4 minutes 38 to go. It's still going on right in front of the crowd there. Just in front of the Fulton Menzies stand at the southern end of the ground.
Well, what about Nathan Cleary? He showed a bit of aggression there. He wasn't happy with his halves partner, Tyrone May, who put the ball down. Brenton Lawrence came and gave him a little bit after he put the ball down. And then Nathan Cleary sprints through as well and ends up pushing Brenton Lawrence, and he took offence to that, and all of a sudden it erupted again. There's been some fire here between these two teams tonight.
Well, Lawrence hit him a bit late.
Yeah, it wasn't anything really.
No, it wasn't way over the odds or anything, but May had a bit to say to him and then was jogging back on side, but Cleary, standing up for his young 5'8", came in as well. So Tyrone May scores. 3 minutes 50 left. Manly 28, Penrith 4 to the touchline. Dean Hallertau.
Well, that helps things for the Panthers, doesn't it? And there wasn't much in it. Tyrone May was walking away, and the Panthers obviously at the end of a frustrated night wanted to push the case a little bit further. But nice little connection there between the two halves that we spoke about before the game. Flat ball from Cleary, and then Tyrone May in open space showing plenty of toe.
3.5 to go. So I think I'm right here. This means that Penrith make the finals no matter what. And it's the Cowboys who can be replaced by St George Illawarra tomorrow. So even though they've copped a hiding here in more ways than just on the scoreboard, they're going to make the finals. And it will be either Cowboys or St George Illawarra joining them. The conversion from Nathan Cleary is successful. So some late consolation for Penrith fans. And I guess if you're following the Panthers and you've seen your team cop a flogging tonight, at least you can wipe the sweat off your brow, because you will be playing finals footy next week. 3 minutes left. Manly 28, Penrith 6.
And I guess, you know, we don't. There's so many factors yet to see what happens next week. But I guess if they do face Manly, a little bit like what Dino was talking about before, they know the intensity they have to bring. They know what this Manly side, and whether or not they could replicate that again tonight, because they have come out with their angry pills here tonight, the Manly Seagulls at home.
So, 28-6, 3 minutes left. Matt Moylan can
no.
Josh Mansour tries to trap it, and he kicks it straight back to Manly. Well, that sums up Penrith's night, doesn't it? He made a mess of it, Mansour, and kicked it straight back to Manly, as now they're on the charge. 12 out from the Penrith line. 2 minutes 45 to go. Coruscant in a dummy half. He'll go to the left, does so to Blake Green, then away to Jake Trebojevic, and he's collared 9 metres out from the Penrith goal line. The crowd's been in good voice here tonight at Brookvale. It comes away to Green. At the line, he offloads right to Terry Evans. Dummies inside, eventually goes that way to Walker. Walker takes on Tamo and Katoa, and he stands at the tackle 7 metres out. 2 minutes 20 left on the clock. Melbourne and Canberra next at Amy Park. Roosters have beaten Gold Coast 20-16 as Lussick hits it up in centre field to Campbell Gillard, and also Fisher Harrison still going. 3, 2, 1 metre out from the goal line, right between the posts. He'll play the ball now to Coruscant. Spins it out left to Green. Green out the back. Tom Trebojevic puts it on the toe. Dived on no. Missed by Wonga Blake. Goes in goal and Katoa gets a boot to it, but it's a penalty. To who?
Not sure who.
He hasn't put an arm yet. Matt Chatchin. Where's it going, buddy? It's offside against Manly. Penalty to Penrith. Brian Kelly ruled offside as the kick came from... No, Blake Green sent it to his left to Tom Trebojevic, put it on the toe, and Kelly chasing is deemed offside after some deliberations from the officials. So Penrith fine touch, 15 out for their own line, 28-6 to Manly. As I was saying, Matt Moylan, is he a little wild card in all of this? He's been disciplined for his attitude to rehab. He's got a hammy injury. There's talk he might leave the club with 4 years left in the contract. But could he be a saviour next week?
Well, I think he can be. If he can come back and play in that number 1 shirt next week, that's a big bonus for the Panthers.
Here's Katoa, 12 short of halfway. Plays the ball to Fisher Harris. Takes off. Puts it on the arm. He's caught 2 metres in Manly territory. 56 seconds left. Manly confirm their spot in the finals. Cleary sends it left to Tyrone May. Running strong late in the night, and he's caught here 31 metres out from the Manly goal line. He'll play the ball to Katoa. Works it right to Cleary. Last tackle. Out it goes Fisher Harris. Just popped the ball. Good flick pass by Cartwright to Faray. He sends it right to Wonga Blake. Puts on some footwork. Backing up Campbell Gillard. And he's in. I tell you what, his effort in this last 15 minutes has been enormous. It has not been a happy night for him, but his effort has been enormous. And Campbell Gillard scores. 22 seconds left. Manly 28. Lead Penrith 10.
Well, he hasn't had a happy night, as you mentioned, Andrew, but there's been 3 significant plays for him tonight. That try right there, he jumped onto a little kick in for a repeat set and pretty much saved a try earlier in the half. And then also he did a try-saving tackle when they made a break over this side earlier as well. So he is a dead-set goal, Regan Campbell-Gillard.
28-10 to Manly. Full-time siren sounds down to the touchline. Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, well, he has turned up all night. I know he's rushed out of the line a few times and come up empty-handed, but we've noticed over the last few months that just his form has improved. His fitness is up. We spoke to him yesterday, and he's playing some good football, and he was rewarded for his efforts there with a nice try off the back of the inside pass from Dallin Watney-Zelezniak.
Nathan Cleary to add the extras. 20 metres out, 7 in from touch. 28-10, 5 minutes. Here's Cleary, last rights in the game. He moves in, he strikes it, he likes it, and he's kicked the goal. So he's landed up with 2 out of 2. But Manly surge into the finals with an outstanding win over Penrith, a game they totally dominated. 28 points to 12 here at Brookvale before a very Totally dominated, 28 points to 12 here at Brookvale before a very vocal crowd of 14,423. In the end, they've scored 5 tries. Finals, Trent Merrin, he's been there before with St George Illawarra and with the Penrith Panthers last year. He's a voice of experience. He's down there with Dean Hullatown now.
Well, Trent, they certainly came out very hard tonight. You're still in the finals, so it's a bit of a weird one, but you must be looking forward to next week.
Yeah, most definitely. They come out of the box. They knew what we were going to throw at them. They did their homework really well, and they deserve to win like that. We're going to throw at them. They did their homework really well, and they deserve to win like that. We're horrible across the park, so yeah, it's a big week next week. We'll go this week and do our homework.
What did Coach Anthony Griffin say to you guys at halftime? Obviously, they had 60% possession, so you were made to work really hard, and the scoreline reflected that. What was said at halftime to try and get things back in the second half?
Yeah, just to face the challenge head on. It's a big ask to come out here and turn it all around. But yeah, that's all that was said. We just had to face this challenge head on and try and turn it around. But Manly were too good tonight.
Just last thing, mate, were you aware of the fact that if you let the game get away from you at the end, there a chance of maybe missing the finals?
Yeah, we had an idea of that. It was a bit scary there, but it was our own fault if that happened. It was on us, but luckily enough, we didn't get that far.
We had a heap of focus and intent in what we did today, which was so pleasing. So I hope we carry it on the next week now.
You must be proud of the effort through the middle of the park, in particular. The line speed we noted was really strong from the start of the game, and that continued, pretty much all the way through. But the effort from your middle guys and from your back rows as well was pretty special.
Well, I thought Darcy was outstanding, mate. His line speed all day, and it's a hard place to play in the middle, effort on effort. And he kept bouncing off the line and putting some real good contact in. And on the back of that, Jake Srebojevic and Marty Tafau, the list goes on. So, really good performance, mate. Plenty of individuals pulled their weight tonight. Really happy.
Well, congratulations on the win. Good luck for the finals.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
There he is. Blake Green had an outstanding season with Dean Hullatown. Good job, Dino. So the table as it stands now, it means that North Queensland will miss out on the 8 if St George Illawarra beats Canterbury tomorrow. If the Dragons do beat Canterbury, they'll move up to 30 points. They have a better footing against than Penrith, so it means the Dragons would finish 7th and Penrith 8th. So the table, Melbourne 42, Sydney Roosters 2nd 38, Brisbane 3rd 36, Parramatta 4th 36. That's all done and dusted. Cronulla 5th on 32. Manly currently sits 6th on 32. Then we've got Penrith on 30 as 7th. North Queensland on 38th. Sydney Roosters 9th on 28. The St George Illawarra Dragons 9th on 28. They beat Canterbury tomorrow. They make the finals. They will finish 7th. And it means that Penrith would finish 8th. And it means that the Cowboys would miss out. If Canterbury wins tomorrow, it means the Cowboys will make the top 8. They'll finish 8th and Penrith 7th, Manly 6th. So it means you'd think Sydney Football Stadium hosting there for Manly next week.
You would think so, and off the back of what they've shown here tonight, they'll go in with a lot of confidence. Whoever they play next weekend, it was
third, and the real killer blow, the first minute of the second half. Tom Trbojevic scored. But a Sirenen in the 53rd minute, Matthew Wright ends up with 4 goals from 5 attempts. For Penrith, their 2 tries came in the last 4.5 minutes. Tyrone May in the 76th minute, Regan Campbell-Gillard in the 80th, Nathan Cleary, 2 goals from 2 attempts. The penalty count 7-5 to Penrith. The crowd 14,423 as Manly turn a 16-0 half-time lead into a 28-12 crushing of the Penrith Panthers, having led 28-0. In the under-20s, Penrith 29 defeated
today. I thought from the get-go he was absolutely brilliant. His defence, his ball playing, everything about what he did. He gets my 3 points. His brother Tom, what a combination those guys have got. He's a quality player. He was in everything tonight. He gets my 2 points. This is where it got really difficult for me. I ended up giving it to Blake Green. I just thought the way he controlled the game with his halves partner, Daly, he was super impressive. His defence was good, but his 40-20 was a key moment in the game as well. I just thought he was very dominant, but some guys who would be really unlucky tonight. Brian Kelly, I thought he had spiders on him. He was excellent tonight, and Daly Cherry Evans. But tonight I went with Jake Trbojevic 3, 2 to his brother Tom, and 1 to Blake Green.
Well, do you know who I reckon's unlucky? Walker, Kelly, Cherry Evans, Lussick, Coruscant, Tapau,
Lloyd Perrott,
Winterstein, and particularly Lloyd Perrott. There were so many good players. Dean Hallertau, your final thoughts? What do you walk away from this thinking, not only about tonight, but into next week?
Well, Manly, they've recaptured a lot of the form that was shown earlier in the year. They've sort of stumbled the last month or so. They've had some good performances in parts of games where they've dropped away in second halves, and I think we've seen a really complete performance from them. And that's off the back of the control that their halves, as Bobcat just alluded to, the halves really steered the ship quite well. And their intensity, like Jake Trbojevic spoke about, that they carried into the week, and the focus that they showed was fairly impressive for the Panthers. I think they just got blown away early, blown off the park early, and they weren't able to recover from that. It's too much energy to expend, and you get behind, and it's really hard to make way after that.
All right, so the scenario is 2v...
And it's really hard to make way after that.
All right, so the scenario is 2v3, we think, Friday night, Roosters, Brisbane, Sydney Football Stadium. Melbourne, Paris, Saturday night, the first game at Amy Park. 5v8 could well end up being Cronulla. If St George Illawarra wins, it would be Cronulla against Penrith at the Sydney Football Stadium. And then 6th versus 7th would be Manly taking on St George Illawarra. And now Manly would probably be at the Footy Stadium. Put a double header on. How good would that be? Anyway, that's all into the future. Dino, see you tomorrow for the big game at the Olympic Stadium, Canterbury and St George Illawarra.
Looking forward to it.
Catch you next week for the final, somewhere, some way, Andrew Ryan.
I'll be there.
Thank you also to Phil Ullman, our technician, and the great Ralph Tucker, our producer and our statistician extraordinaire tonight, Jet Ryan, helping us out brilliantly as well. And thank you for listening. Manly into the finals, 28-12 over Penrith. Penrith into the finals as well, one spot left. Dragons or Cowboys. Storm and Raiders coming up. Back to the grandstand studio we go. Julian Abbott.
Andrew Moore, thank you very much indeed. And shortly off to Amy Park.
The chatbots have arrived and they are here to help.
Alexa, are you my mommy?
But why are they so often female?
I'm not your mother, but I like you unconditionally.
And algorithms of oppression.
Now imagine this. Hidden from view, algorithms will become, and artificial intelligence in particular, will become a human rights issue.
Science Friction, back with a fresh season in National Science Week. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. All species welcome.
Mel Wells in the newsroom. The AMA says the influenza A strain is the most dangerous for elderly people. 6 people have died during a flu outbreak in a nursing home in Tasmania, and 7 people have died from flu in a retirement village in Victoria. Government officials in Myanmar say almost 3,000 homes have been burnt down in Rohingya Muslim majority areas of the country's northwest. Evacuation orders have been issued for residents of 50 homes on the northern fringe of Los Angeles as wildfires continue to burn. The fires have closed a key freeway, disrupting holiday weekend traffic. And Australia and East Timor have resolved their long-running dispute over oil and gas reserves in the Timor Sea.
Have you upgraded your radio yet? DAB Plus unique advantages like enhanced sound quality. There are more stations and extra programs to listen to. You can see information like the weather. And with DAB Plus radio, you don't need the internet or a Wi-Fi connection, and it doesn't use your data. Go to abc.net.au/digital radio to find out more.
You're with ABC Grandstand NRL.
On ABC Radio, Grandstand Digital, streaming online and on your mobile.
Full-time tonight at Brookvale, where they had 14,423. Manly have confirmed their place in the finals. They're 6th on the ladder at the moment. They beat Penrith by 28 points to 12, despite the loss. Penrith are also playing finals coming up next weekend. Penrith won the 20s, 29 points to 10. Earlier on today, the Roosters, they finished the season in second position, defeating the Titans. It was a late finish, though, for the Roosters. They won the match in the end, 20 points to 16. They had 11,212 at the Sydney Football Stadium earlier on today. You can hear the interviews and the highlights from that game and the wrap as well on the Grandstand Twitter account and also on Grandstand on SoundCloud as well. If you'd like to tune in there, the Roosters, they won the 20s, 60 points to 24. No 20s game between the Storm and Raiders. That is coming up tomorrow. A couple of games in the National Rugby Championship today. Canberra, they beat Queensland Country 48-40, and Brisbane, they beat Fiji 45-36. Let's go to Amy Park now. It is the Storm up against the Raiders. The match has no bearing on the finals, but Tim Gable, I should imagine the minor premiers would like to keep the juggernaut going.
Yes, Julian, they've won 6 in a row, the best team in the competition so far, and it will be a couple of milestone matches here today. Nelson Asafa-Solomona playing his 50th. Cameron Smith equals Darren Lockyer's record of 355 games, and also a chance to farewell the likes of Cooper Cronk, Tohu Harris and Jordan McLean, all of whom are leaving the club at the end of the season. So there is a huge banner just in front of us here at Amy Park in Melbourne, where it is overcast for this game between the Raiders and the Storm. And a couple of changes. Firstly, for the Raiders, Elliot Whitehead and Sia Soliola will start on the bench, with Dave Taylor and Joe Tarpanay coming into the starting side. Blake Austin playing his 100th game tonight. They did celebrate it last weekend, Alan, but he pointed out to the club that, in fact, I've only played 99, and that was last week. He's playing his 100th tonight, and Dale Finucane has been ruled out. I think he's being rested along with Tim Glasby from this Melbourne Storm side. Has been ruled out. I think he's being rested along with Tim Glasby from this Melbourne Storm side in the lead up to the finals next week. Kenny Bromwich will start at lock. And a chance for Nate Miles to get a little bit of game time. He comes onto the bench, as does Robbie Rocco, his first appearance for the Melbourne Storm. So a real chance for Robbie Rocco, I guess, this season, because he really hasn't featured too much, Alan. And this is shaping up to be a very interesting game. Spoke to Ricky Stewart this morning. He said, to be honest, it has been pretty tough this week because they thought they might be playing finals football up until Sunday afternoon. It wasn't to be. Had to pick themselves off the canvas and prepare for this game against the Melbourne Storm, the minor premiers.
Yeah, absolutely right. I think it really would have deflated them, but there is a huge amount of feeling between these two clubs. Craig Bellamy, Ricky Stewart, great mates, but they're enemies when this game kicks off here. So there's still a lot to play for the Raiders. They want to finish strongly. They've been disappointing in a few of those games in particular this year. They've let it slip. Games that they should have won, they haven't done that. But the Melbourne Storm, well, they met up against the Raiders in round 20. They got the victory that night, 20 points to 14. Sia Soliola, huge hit on Billy Slater. He was rubbed out for 5 weeks. His return game tonight here, it'll be interesting to see. He's starting from the bench. They've brought Big Dave Taylor in to start, but the feeling and the reception that he'll get when he comes onto this field. And the Melbourne Storm, you're right, they just want to keep that momentum going. Last week, they were in this similar situation. They came up against the Bunnies, had no bearing on the outcome. They had won the minor premiership. Rabbitohs weren't going to make the top 8. They've got standards and they've got a culture down here that when they pull on their jersey, when they cross that white line, they rip in for each other. I'm expecting exactly the same from this Melbourne Storm side here again tonight. The Raiders, well, they'll throw the footy around. We saw a bit of that brilliance in the attack last week against the Newcastle Knights, in particular in that back line. Jack White chiming in with BJ Leilua and Rapana. So there were some nice signs there, but they're up against a totally different opposition here tonight.
Well, let's go down to the sideline. Peter Robinson, the former Melbourne Storm player, is down there covering the sideline for us tonight. What is the feeling like in the Storm camp at the moment, Peter, given they've wrapped up the minor premiership heading into tonight's game?
Yeah, g'day guys. It's probably similar to last week's game against the Rabbitohs. The guys have been trying to build momentum. After tonight's game, another competition starts next week. The field, guys, it's a pretty dry wicket at the moment, so it should be pretty good underfoot. Although we are in Melbourne, so it's always a chance of getting some rain. It's pretty good conditions. It's 15 degrees. It's obviously an emotional time when you've got guys leaving your club in Jordan McLean, Tohu, Harrison, Cooper. And one thing Craig Bellamy is able to do, he's got this unique ability to motivate his players for these guys to get up for these milestone games.
Right, earlier today, it was the Roosters 20, accounting for the Gold Coast Titans 16, and Manly 28. Too strong for the Panthers 12, but the Panthers have made the finals. It will be between the Cowboys and the Dragons for that 8th position, and the Dragons in action against the Bulldogs tomorrow. In fact, the Dragons, if they win, they could finish in 7th place, and it is a fascinating competition, isn't it, when you have a look at the fact that the Sharks could finish in 6th place and Manly in 5th, depending on results, of course, over the next 24 hours. Just waiting for Cameron Smith to lead the Melbourne Storm onto the field here at Amy Park in Melbourne, where conditions are overcast. Grant Atkins is the referee. Dave Munro is his assistant. Tim Gable, Alan Tung and Peter Robinson with you tonight. And Cameron Smith, his 355th game, equalling the record set by the great Darren Lockyer.
You know, it's hard, Tim, to describe really in words what this guy means to Melbourne. It means to rugby league, Queenslanders in general, but 355 games, 42 origins, 50 games for Australia. He's played 4 NRL All-Star games in there, and there's still so much football ahead of him. There's so much that we can say about this great footballer, and he gets one of these, another astonishing record and a milestone here tonight. There'll be more to come, but he'll be all focused on what he has to do for his side here. He comes out and shakes the hand of the referees and also Jared Croker. But what an amazing achievement from amazing footballer.
So the Raiders fullback Whiten, wingers Kotrick and Rapana, Leilua, Croker, Austin, Caesar, Paulo, Hodgson, Boyd, Papali coming into the starting side, Tapane and Taylor. And then the Melbourne Storm, Slater, Vunivalu, Josh Adokar, Scott Chambers, Munster, Cronk, Bromwich, that's Jesse Bromwich, Smith, McLean, Kafusi, Harris, and coming into the side at number 13 will be Kenny Bromwich. And the ball is taken forward now, McLean. He charges over the 20. That's a good run by Jordan McLean. He's turned around in the tackle. Junior Paulo up on him very quickly. And he plays the ball back 21 metres out as the ball goes wide now. It goes to Bromwich. And Bromwich searches forward. That's a good run. 19 short of the halfway. He's tackled there by Tapane in the starting side. Left-hand side of the field now. It's taken forward by Kafusi. He's caught. Only 5 short of the halfway. 10 metres in from touch. As the ball is played back to Smith White, it goes now to Bromwich. And Kenny Bromwich really lurching at the line there. And he's tackled just over the halfway. Gets up and plays the ball back as it goes now to Smith. Cronk looks on the inside. He takes the tackle himself. And he's caught 39 metres out from the Raiders line. Storm on the attack. Ball comes back now to Slater. Big crowd here at Amy Park as the ball goes to Smith, who kicks it high in the air. Whiten is back there for the Raiders. Takes it comfortably. 10 out from his own line. He comes towards the chase. Kafusi up there. Puts him down. 15 out from their own line. Raiders with the ball, 15 out from their own line as it comes infield now to Kotrick. And Kotrick searches across, but he's still going. And he's going to be caught by Vunivalu and put down 21 out from his own line. Ball comes infield now. It goes from Croker to Papali. Papali charging forward. He's going to be caught there by a couple of players, including Chambers, who puts him down 15 short of the halfway. Right-hand side of the field, it goes now for the Raiders to Taylor. And Big Dave Taylor charging forward is caught about 5 short of the halfway. And he's going to play the ball back just short of the halfway as it goes from Hodgson. Then it goes to Boyd. And Boyd charging forward is over the halfway. Last tackle coming up here for the Raiders as it goes from Hodgson. Wide it goes on the halfway to Caesar. High in the air. He pumps it downfield. Back there is Adokar. Chase it comfortably. 12 out from his own line. Comes towards the chase. And he makes it back to the 20. They can't put him down. Score 0-0 at the moment.
Yeah, a couple of solid opening sets from both sides. The Melbourne Storm, a simple set to start off, but making some good metres there. And the Raiders, they return serve nicely. Tight, tussle in around the middle there, Tim.
McLean takes it forward. He's 11 short of the halfway. He'll play the ball back now. Tackle made by Paulo as it goes from Smith. Links wide there with Cronk. He's over the halfway. Then it goes to Chambers on the fly. He comes towards Croker. Passes back on the inside to Vunivalu. Almost away. It is captured with a desperate lunge there from Papali. He'll play it back 29 metres out as it goes now from Cronk to Smith. Smith goes wider still now. Opportunity for Munster. Cuts out a player. Left-hand side of the field. Finds Scott on the burst. And Curtis Scott is going to be brought down only 10 metres out from one side of the field to the other. Attractive rugby league at the moment from the Melbourne Storm, the minor premiers. Ball goes wide to Cronkite. Chips the ball over the top. Across there is Austin. Ball is loose on the ground. It's going to be dived on here by Croker. The referee is saying, play on. Kafusi sprints for the line and scores. Ball came loose off a number of hands. The Raiders appealing, saying that Vunivalu touched it. Ball has come loose. They'll go upstairs to determine whether or not this is a try to the Melbourne Storm. But Kafusi has put the ball down. This could be a try to the Melbourne Storm. Opening moments of this game. And referee Atkins says he believes that it is a try. Well, appear to be a couple of knock-ons there. Jared Croker says it needs to go upstairs. And they're going to have a look at it.
Is cleared as being onside.
So they've kicked it through. There's onside, but no worries about that. Billy Slater, he taps the ball back. It's play on. It's fair game at the moment.
We've got a knock back by Billy Slater. We're playing on to this point.
Here we go. Croker comes across. Does it touch his fingers? It does there. Does it come off a Melbourne Storm hand? We can't see the football in the replay that we're getting at the moment. Croker definitely gets his hands to it. And there's also a Melbourne Storm hand there for Lise Kafusi, but I'm sure that's gone backwards off Kafusi. I think at the moment it's still play on.
Let's hear what the referee's got to say. So we're waiting for the adjudication here.
We've got no breach by Melbourne in the lead up and a grounding by Melbourne in the end goal. We have a decision going to the board.
Red, you can have Jared Croker behind it.
Try Melbourne, they lead 4-0 over the Canberra Raiders. Down to the sideline, Peter Robertson.
Well, you've got to make your own. Like, that was a lucky try for mine. Police Kafusi just got up and run with the ball and no one was in front of him. That was a very lucky try, but as I said, you've got to put yourself in that position to make that happen.
So 4-0. Melbourne leading Canberra. Jared Croker arguing the toss with the referee, but the decision has already been made. Try to Melbourne, 4-0 over the Canberra Raiders inside the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, and Pete Robinson's right there. You've got to make your own luck. Probably to Cooper Cronk standards, it's probably not the best crossfield kick, but Billy Slater, he gets his hands to the football, and that's one of the things about the Melbourne Storm. They've got more bodies in the play all the time. In the picture, there's always a lot of purple jerseys, and it gives them opportunity to come up with plays like that. And what about Felice Kafusi? He is having a wonderful season. I know he's a younger brother as well, Patrick, I think it is. He's coming down from the Cowboys too, so there's 3 brothers that have all played for the Melbourne Storm, but he's having just a wonderful season out on that right edge. Great little combination with Cooper Cronk. This time Billy Slater heavily involved as well.
Cameron Smith at his 355th game, equalling the record set by Darren Lockyer for the most number of games in the NRL. 20 metres out, 10 metres in from touch. In a bid to make it 6-0, Melbourne over the Raiders here in Melbourne. Moves in, kicks the ball towards the uprights. He's kicked it. 6-0, Melbourne leading the Raiders. Earlier today, the Roosters 20 defeated the Gold Coast 16, and Manly 28 accounted for the Panthers 12, which means at the moment The Cowboys and the Dragons fighting it out for that final 8th position. And the Dragons in action against the Bulldogs tomorrow. There's the restart. Long kick downfield. It's gone into touch on the full over the sideline. From the restart from the Raiders. Well, things going from bad to worse. And so Melbourne on the halfway. The referee comes across. The ball is kicked out on the full. Will get a penalty. And the referee, Grant Atkins, right in the middle of the ground. 6-0, Melbourne leading the Raiders.
I was just watching the body language of the Raiders players there coming back to that kickoff. Jordan Rapana sort of run the football up to kick it off as quick as he could. It was daylight between all these teammates behind him, just waddling back, and you can just feel that there's not as much energy just in this Raiders side at the moment. The Melbourne Storm, plenty of spring in their step.
Well, Melbourne have got the ball. 25 metres out, goes now to Bromwich. Jesse Bromwich takes it forward. He stands in the tackle. He's bent back now. Coming in over the top, a couple of players, including Boyd. He'll play it back, 21 metres out. A crossfield out goes to McLean. And Jordan McLean charging onto it, caught by Taylor and put down 11 metres out in front of the post. Wide it goes now to Cronk. Cronk goes himself, links up there with Slater. Then it goes to Kafusi. He's almost through, but he's cut down a lovely tackle by Austin. Only 5 metres out, and they get a penalty here. Well, it's holding on too long there, and so he's going to be a penalty here to the Melbourne Storm, a couple of metres out. Score at the moment is 6-0. Slater with a quick tap, 9 metres out. Wide it goes to Smith, through the hands. Lovely piece of play there to Munster, who cut back on the inside, and Munster's caught. And he's caught about 5 metres out. He'll go up and play the ball back now. 5 metres out from the Raiders line. All Melbourne Storm at the moment. Wide it goes to Smith, the minor premiers. Then it goes to Cronk, back on the inside to Kafusi, the try scorer. And Kafusi's caught 11 metres out. Gets up and plays it back now. Hodson, the tackler. Smith from dummy half. Drifts across field. Finds Bromwich on the burst. He's almost through. He's across the line. Try! Try Melbourne Storm. Well, he stretched the arm out in the tackle and has scored a try for the Melbourne Storm. And the referee is going upstairs. He believes it's a try. Just wants to make sure that he's put the ball down across the line. But that looks to be a try to Jesse Bromwich. He stood in the tackle, put the arm across the line with the ball, and appears to have scored a try for the Melbourne Storm. And having a look at that one on the replay, I think it's going to be 10-0 with the kick to come directly in front, Alan.
Oh, there's no problems there whatsoever, Tim. Jesse Bromwich, he's big, he's strong, he's got plenty of footwork as well. That close to the line, here comes the decision. No problems whatsoever. That's the green light, that's a try. And the Melbourne Storm, they keep rolling forward, but it was all on the back of Jordan Rapana's kickoff. Yep. It's gone out on the full, gifted them that field position. You cannot do that. I'll tell you what, the Canberra Raiders, that was shot to their right-hand side on a couple of those occasions. The pass just didn't go to their outside men. It was about a 5-on-3 overlap on a couple of occasions. They've just got players in the motion, and the Raiders, their energy isn't there at the moment.
Well, it's looking ominous for the Raiders. I called the game last weekend here at Amy Park when Melbourne put the sword to the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and it has that ominous sign about it at the moment. As Cameron Smith about to line the ball up directly in front in a bid to make it 12-0. 7 minutes gone so far. Down to the sideline, Peter Robinson.
Yeah, Jesse Bromwich, he should never have scored that try. There was more Raiders there than Jesse should have got that ball down. But as you said, Tim, we called the game last week. We hope it doesn't get to that scoreline for the Raiders.
It's 10-0 at the moment. 7 minutes gone. And Cameron Smith has the ball lined up directly in front. Tim Gable, Alan Tongue, Peter Robinson with you tonight. As he moves in, Smith has kicked it. It's 12-0 earlier today. The Roosters 20 accounted for the Gold Coast Titans 16, Manly 28, the Panthers 12, which means the Cowboys and the Dragons fighting it out for the final 8th position ahead of the finals next weekend. And the Dragons in action against the Bulldogs tomorrow. Very important game too between the Sharks and Newcastle. Could see the Sharks drop to 6th if they're beaten tomorrow by Newcastle. So both games will be covered on Grandstand as we see the restart now, a little more conventional, straight up the centre from Jordan Rapana. Ball is going to be taken on the full by Cronk. He looks for runners and he finds McLean, and Jordan McLean, originally from Temora, takes the ball forward, drifting across field now. He's just short of the 20. He'll play it back now to Cameron Smith. Left-hand side of the field it goes to Kafusi. And Kafusi to Harris, and Harris takes it forward. He's upended in the tackle, 19 short of the halfway. He'll play it back now. Smith at acting half. Smith drifting across field, finds Bromwich, the try scorer. Bromwich bounces out of the first line. He's still going. He's falling off tackles at the moment, the Raiders. They can't put him down. 11 short of the halfway. He'll play it back to Smith. Wide it goes to Cronk. Looking for a 40-20. Drills it downfield. Back there is Whiten. Traps it with his boot. 11 out from his own line. Comes towards the chase. It's a good chase too. Chambers in his face. Kafusi there as well. And they put him down 25 short of the halfway. Wide it goes to Kotrick now. Possibly the rookie of the year, Kotrick. He beat the first line. Beat the second. He's forced to crossfield, and eventually Josh Addo-Carr in his face has put him down. 21 out from their own line. Now it goes to Rapana straight up the centre, and Jordan Rapana's caught 11 short of the halfway. Raiders with possession at the moment. Hodgson calling for it. Right hand side of the field it goes to Tarpanay. Swings around in the tackle. He's caught 10 short of the halfway, and the Raiders finding it very hard to get through this brick wall like defence from the Melbourne Storm. Again, Hodgson from dummy half. He goes himself. He's over the halfway, caught from behind. He's caught 41 metres out. Last tackle coming up here for the Raiders. BJ Leilua runs from dummy half. Then it goes to Rapana. Drops the ball. Picked up by Leilua, but he lost it forward. On the last tackle, the Raiders have conceded possession. And so the Melbourne Storm will get the changeover. 21 out from their own line. Score remains 12-0. It's Melbourne leading the Raiders. And we've had 10 minutes so far here in Melbourne.
Yeah, Josh Hodgson just found a bit of space down that short side. And then BJ Leilua on play 5 took a chance, went down. The pass wasn't on the money to Jordan Rapana. Their combination started to fire last week, but just haven't seen too much football. And on that occasion, the ill discipline just showing.
So Melbourne with possession as the ball comes back now to Bromwich, and Jesse Bromwich surges forward. He's tackled 9 short of the halfway. He'll get up and play it back now to Smith at acting half, centre of the field, as it goes again to Cronk, playing his final game at home here in the regular season. Then to Slater. Slater is tackled. He's pursued and put down by Taylor and forced back a couple of metres. The big Dave Taylor in the starting side. May have had a change of heart, may end up playing with the Raiders next year despite signing this deal with Toronto. And Taylor again capturing Smith this time from dummy half. So he's made a couple of big tackles there. Inside it comes now. Opportunity for the Melbourne Storm as the ball is taken forward by Bromwich. That's Kenny Bromwich. Over the halfway goes Smith. He beat the tackle there of Boyd. Kicked it downfield. It's in the in goal. It bounces off the upright. Comes back into the field of play. Straight into the arms of Whiten. And Jack Whiten has it for the Raiders. It's been all down their own end of the field, though, for the Raiders with the ball as it's taken forward now by Rapana. And Rapana's 25 short of the halfway. 12-0. Melbourne leading the Raiders here in Melbourne as the ball comes infield now to Paulo. And Junior Paulo with a big run surges forward. And Cooper Cronk hanging on for dear life, puts him down 15 short of the halfway. The Raiders just haven't got any momentum so far as Boyd takes it forward now. He's 5 short of the halfway. He'll play it back now to Hodgson. Right-hand side of the field it goes to Caesar. Long bullet-like pass there to BJ Leilua on the burst. Managed to get the pass away under pressure. Tarpanay took it well. Back on the inside it goes to Caesar. To Austin. He's almost through. Austin's going to be caught from behind and put down by Bromwich. Smith there as well. And they're 31 metres out. Last tackle coming up here for the Raiders as it goes to Caesar. Long cut-out pass. He found Rapana on the inside, then to BJ Leilua. But the pass has gone forward to Rapana. And so it's going to be a changeover again. And Melbourne to get possession, 20 out from their own line. Peter Robinson on the sideline.
Well, that's a little bit more attacking better from the Raiders. They just haven't had the ball to be able to do that, but that looks a bit more threatening for them.
Well, the pass from Caesar to Rapana, unfortunately, has gone forward, and so Melbourne to get possession. 20 out from their own line, 10 metres in from touch, and the score remains 12-0. It's Melbourne leading the Raiders. 2 tries early in this game. Kafusi and Jesse Bromwich scoring for Melbourne.
Yeah, and this is going to be the challenge for the Melbourne Storm. The Raiders are going to chance their arm and try and get a few offloads. They're going to run the ball on 5th play. They're just going to throw a little bit of the unexpected at the Melbourne Storm, but their scrambling defence has come up trumps so far.
Bromwich takes it forward, absolutely bent back in the tackle there, Kenny Bromwich, and he's forced back a couple of metres. Tackle made by Junior Paulo. Papali there as well. What a combination. Then it goes to Slater. Cuts out a player, finds Vunivalu on the outside, and Vunivalu aiming to become the leading try scorer, 2nd season in a row. He's on 22, same as Alex Johnston. Johnston, of course, not playing this weekend. At crossfield goes Chambers. He's 41 metres out. He'll play it back now on the last tackle as it goes from Smith to Munster. Munster shapes to kick, finally does. Back there is Whiten. And Whiten is going to be caught, almost bundled into touch. Does well to stay in the field of play too. 10 out from his own line. It's frenetic rugby league at the moment, let me tell you, with the Raiders preparing to chance their arm. And Melbourne all-out attack. Ball comes infield now to Whiten. And Whiten charging forward. He's caught. 21 short of the halfway. It's Melbourne leading 12-0 over the Canberra Raiders here in Melbourne. Not even midway through the first half. As the ball goes wide to Caesar, to Austin, then it goes to Croker. Croker comes towards Chambers. Good tackle by Chambers. He wraps him up ball and all and thumps him down 5 short of the halfway, and he cops a penalty for it. Raiders get the penalty, 5 short of the halfway, 6 metres in from touch. Score remains 12-0. It's Melbourne leading the Raiders.
Yeah, it was a great read by Will Chambers, some good contact. He just gave a little bit extra in the tackle, and that gave the referees an opportunity to penalise there. Well, in round 20 when they met, we spoke about that game and how dour it was, the slow in the play, the ball, the ruck speed. It was terrible. This game, totally different. Nice, fast, free-flowing, good footy.
10 short. The halfway. Ball goes wide now to Waston. Through the hands it goes to Whitehead, who's on the field. So already a change here for the Raiders because Whitehead originally named on the bench. As the ball goes to the right-hand side of the field, I'd suggest that Dave Taylor might be the
right,
So Taylor is off inside the first 15 minutes. I guess that was always the plan, given he hasn't played much footy, especially in the starting side. Ball goes wide out to Caesar. 21 metres out to Tapane. Standing in the tackle. Back it goes to Caesar. Cops a high shot. Still going. Across field he goes. Links up there with Austin. Austin goes himself. Chips the ball over the top. Opportunity here to Kotrick, but well taken by Vunivalu. Simply put his hands in the air, trapped at mid-flight, and the Storm have possession. 10 out from their own line. It's the Storm leading the Raiders 12-0. Peter Robertson on the sideline.
Well, Tungy, you touching on it, mate. They're going to chance their arm a little bit, the Raiders, but that was a pretty good take there by Suliasi Fulavanu.
Ball is 25 short of the halfway. Melbourne with possession through Josh Adokar. Smith at acting half, then to McLean charging forward. He's caught. That's a good run too. Running on the angle, caught by Paulo. And now Cameron Smith looking for a 40-20, but straightens up now. It goes straight down the throat. Jack Whiten, who takes it well, 10 out from his own line, comes towards the chase, and Whiten is caught 25 short of the halfway. Still Melbourne leading the Raiders 12-0 after that early onslaught. The Raiders back into this game a little bit as it goes now to Kotrick, and Kotrick bends his body into the tackle, gets through the first line. He's eventually caught though by Kafusi, 15 short of the halfway. Now it goes to Papali. Papali's through the first line as well, can't get the pass away. Good tackle made in the end by Harris, 5 short of the halfway. Wide it goes to Whitehead, through the hands, opportunity here for the Raiders through Boyd, and Boyd's over the halfway, running it with a bit of freedom there. Shannon Boyd, he's tackled the big front rower. He's 41 metres out, right-hand side of the field. Now it goes to Caesar, through the hands to Austin, goes himself, cuts out a player, finds Rapana on the burst. Rapana's put a foot into touch. He was flying down the right-hand touch line. He put a foot into touch, and they'll call it back. Well, the Raiders really chancing their arm on the right-hand side of the field. It's Melbourne leading 12-0 over the Raiders. But it will be a scrum. Melbourne to feed the scrum, 20 metres out from their own line, 10 metres in from touch. And this game is being played at a frenetic pace. Tim Gable, Alan Tongue and Peter Robinson with you tonight. If you'd like to have your say, 0467920222, 0467920222. And a reminder, the Roosters defeated the Gold Coast 20 points to 16, Manly 28. Too strong for the Panthers, 12. The Panthers, though, making the finals. Manly also secure. It's now down to the Cowboys and the Dragons. If the Dragons win tomorrow against the Bulldogs, they will in fact move into 7th place, and the Cowboys miss out on the finals as Vunivalu charges onto the ball after they won the scrum. He's tackled 21 short of the halfway, and Melbourne get a penalty.
Yeah, a little bit too much in the play the ball. Blake Austin, Josh Papali in there too. And that's one of the big glaring differences for me when I look at these two sides. The Melbourne Storm, the amount of numbers that they've got in motion, in particular coming out of their own end. You look at the Raiders, they send it up one out. Whether it's an outside back or the big men, they're usually going up one out and they're getting picked off quite easy. The Melbourne Storm, they have just got shape. Both sides of the ruck around the football just ask so many questions of you.
5 inside the Raiders half. Ball goes from Smith to Kafusi after they took the tap. And they have it now 39 metres out. Melbourne leading 12-0 over the Raiders. It's Smith running from dummy half, left-hand side of the field to Cronk with a short pass there. Ball taken forward by Kenny Bromwich this time. He's 25 metres out. Right-hand side of the field, it goes to Smith. Through the hands now, opportunity for Jesse Bromwich. And Bromwich is caught only 12 metres out. Smith running from dummy half now, drifts across field. He's 10 metres out. And he finds Kenny Bromwich this time, from one Bromwich to the other. Left-hand side of the field it went. Bromwich was caught 9 metres out. Now it goes to Smith. Back on the inside, he finds Slater on the burst. Slater's lost possession. He's going to 6 to go here for the Melbourne Storm. 10 metres out. Left-hand side of the field to Harris. And Harris is cut down in a good tackle, only 5 metres out. And he gets up and plays the ball back 10 metres in from touch. Through the hands it goes from Munster. Back on the inside to Kenny Bromwich. He's caught 9 metres out. Still Melbourne on the attack. They lead 12-0 over the Raiders. It's been all Melbourne so far in this game. 10 metres out. Smith has the ball. Does the run around with Bromwich. Bromwich. Wide it goes now to Cronk, and Cronk is wrapped up, ball and all. Only 9 metres out. Gets up and plays it back. The tackle made by Austin. Right-hand side of the field again. It goes to Smith. Smith then to Kafusi. Kafusi's absolutely dumped a couple of metres out. The quick play of the ball. Left-hand side of the field. It goes to Cronk. Links up there with Harris. Harris through. Try Melbourne. Relentless attack. The Levy had to break finally. It has. Wow. And Tohu Harris has scored adjacent to the uprights. The referee will go upstairs to determine whether or not there has been an obstruction here. He says it's a try, Grant Atkins, but looking for a verdict here from the video referee, who's just to our left-hand side, to determine whether or not this is going to be a try to Tohu Harris, who's playing his final regular season game here in Melbourne. Of course, heading to the New Zealand Warriors next year. And we're just waiting for the replay to come on the big screen. Looks to be a try.
There's no obstruction in the lead up.
This will be a try. So Harris will score, and it will be 16-0 to the Melbourne Storm over the Raiders. Well, Ricky Stewart did say earlier today it had been a hard job lifting this team off the canvas after they missed out on the finals.
He does get straight up too, mate.
Yeah, looks to be a try.
Yeah, there's no problem whatsoever with that.
This will be 16-0 with the kick to come directly in front to make it 18-0 Melbourne over the Raiders.
Sorry, Tim. I think they're actually looking at the foot that's coming in here in the contact. It's not actually the grounding here. Whether the foot that's come in here, he's had a shot.
The ball is grounded in the end goal by Melbourne. However, the action from the Canberra defender warrants a player on report and an 8-point try. We have a decision going to the ball.
Wow.
Yeah, I got that.
This will be an 8-point try with Tarpanay putting the boot into Harris as he crossed the line. Try. Midway through the first half. Let's go down and hear what the referee's got to say. Joe Tarpanay.
We foul him in the act of scoring, so we have a try, and following the try we have a penalty in
What?
front. All right.
Penalty try?
No, it's not a penalty try. It's a possible 8-point try. All right, because you fouled someone in the act of scoring.
So it's an 8-point try?
Well,
not a penalty try?
No, it's different. All right, so after
Just
the kick...
for that?
Yeah, you kick you, mate. Off we go.
Go for the ball.
No.
Grant, did you put him on report?
Tarpanay on report.
Joe Tarpanay on report.
Sorry, someone talking to me?
A kick to come directly in front.
Walshy.
11 metres out.
I'll get him.
So if he kicks this, they have another shot.
Right in front of the post there, so he'll get an opportunity here. This will be 8 points, so there'll be no worries about that.
This will make it 20-0 by the end of this.
You're right there, Tim, and the referees have got this absolutely right. I know that Jared Crogue has come out, he's frustrated, but Joe Tarpanay's come in with his foot. It's the reason it's not a penalty try. He actually scored the try. There was no problems there. He scored it. He gets that opportunity to get an extra couple of points. Here comes Cameron Smith. A bit of practice for his next one as well.
12 metres out, directly in front. He kicks it. So he has another shot at goal now because he's kicked it. And the Raiders players initially rushed out thinking they had to run back to halfway, but it'll come back for the Cameron Smith penalty directly in front, given that it is an 8-point try after Joe Tarpanay put the boot in as Tohu Harris crossed the line, and now Cameron Smith directly in front, down to the sideline. Peter Robinson, all happening here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see Tohu Harris, a departing player, score a try. He got that same try down where Jesse Bromwich scored the try. But, guys, I thought he was hard done by there, Tarpanay. I don't think that should have been an 8-point try. I think it looked worse than what it was. Tohu got straight back up, so I thought the Raiders hard done by there.
I've seen worse.
Absolutely.
Cameron Smith now, 11 metres out, almost from the same spot in which he kicked just a moment ago. An 8-point try here to the Melbourne Storm. And this will be 20-0. 20 minutes gone so far in this game. Melbourne in front of the Raiders. As he moves in now, he's kicked it. So it's 20-0 after 20 minutes, Alan.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the Melbourne Storm, that try, it's only a short pass from Cooper Cronk to Tohu Harris. But to put it in context, Saw how Harris run a perfect line. He's run at 100 miles an hour. He's got about 4 or 5 other players in and around the football that's asking questions of the defensive line. They make the plays look simple in essence, but really there's so much going on around the football. They're playing it at a breakneck speed, and the Canberra Raiders, they can't even hold on at the moment.
Luke Bateman on the field too for the Raiders. There's the kick-off. Long kick downfield. Melbourne leading the Raiders 20-0. Taken by Cronk. Infield it comes. They're passing the ball from one side of the field to the other inside their own 20. And Bromwich takes it forward. He's caught. 21 out from his own line. He gets up now to play the ball back. Smith an acting half. Across field he goes. He links up there with Kenny Bromwich, who takes it forward. He's 19 short of the halfway. So the Bromwich brothers heavily involved so far in this first half. Now it goes to McLean. Off to North Queensland next year. Takes it forward. And he's forced across field. 25 short of the halfway. Melbourne leading 20-0. Midway through the first half. Bateman on the field. Makes the tackle. Left-hand side of the field, it goes to Bromwich, through the hands to Munster, back on the inside to Harris, and Harris is absolutely bent back in the tackle there made by Junior Paulo. They're 5 short of the halfway. Melbourne with the ball on the halfway as it goes to Cronk. He's over the halfway, and he's 42 metres out, 10 metres in from touch, and he gets up now to play the ball back. Infield it comes to Smith, high in the air. It was Bromwich at acting half. Smith kicks it high in the air, and back there is White and takes it well. 10 out from his own line, and he comes towards the chase. Can the Raiders get back into this game? It's 20-0, Melbourne leading the Raiders, 3 tries to 0 so far, and now it goes to Croker trying to lift his team, and Croker has scored 15 short of the halfway. The tackle was high tackle made by Bromwich and McLean, and Croker, well, he's a little bit groggy, seems to be okay now. In the hands of the trainer, no problems there. He'll stay on the field. And the Raiders get a penalty. 12 short of the halfway. It's 20-0. It's Melbourne leading the Raiders. Earlier today, the Roosters 20. The Gold Coast Titans 16. And Manly 28 defeated the Panthers 12. Which means tomorrow the Dragons take on the Bulldogs for a place in the finals there for the Dragons. Comes down to between the Dragons and the Cowboys for that final 8th position. 41 metres out. Sousa with the ball to Paulo. Paulo charging under the ball. Absolutely rampaging run from him. And he's caught 41 metres out, but well held there by Kafusi. Left-hand side of the field. Now it goes from Hodgson to Bateman. And Bateman running on the angle is caught 35 metres out. Gets up and plays it back. Left-hand side of the field to Austin. Austin on the burst. Then to Croker. Croker comes towards Chambers. That's a good battle tonight. Chambers and Croker. And Chambers puts him down 20 metres out, 10 metres in from touch. Infield it comes to Austin with a long pass. Through the hands to Hodgson. Hodgson goes himself. Drifts across field. Links up now with Whiten. Cutting back on the inside. Beat the first line. But absolutely nailed by the second wave there. And he was caught by Harris 19 metres out. Again they push it down the right-hand side as it goes to Rapana. Rapana's going to be caught. Only 10 metres out, 5 metres in from touch. Still the Raiders on the attack. 16.5 minutes remaining before the break. It's Melbourne leading 20-0. A crossfield kick here from Caesar. As it goes there to Kotrick. Takes it well. Ball has come loose. Picked up by Croker. Thrusts it back infield as it goes to Whiten. Whiten still going on the last tackle caught. 5 metres out. Melbourne to get the ball on the changeover. Well, Kotrick caught it. Dropped it back. Picked up by Croker. It threw the ball back on the inside, taken by Whiten. And Whiten was caught 5 metres out on the last tackle. And Melbourne lead at the moment by 20 points to 0. Tim Gavel, Alan Tone and Peter Robinson with you tonight. Grandstand Rugby League on ABC Local Radio across Australia.
Yeah, some really good rugby league all round, wasn't it? Caesar, the beautiful crossfield kick. It was pinpoint. Kotrick jumps high above the pack. But then the scrambling defence of this Melbourne Storm. First interchange on the big man is about to get the ball. Nelson, Asafa, Solomona. 50 games. Well done, mate.
Yeah, 2 metres tall. Takes it forward. And he's put down 21 metres short of the halfway. He'll play it back now to Smith. Infielder Bromwich, and Kenny Bromwich drifting across field. He's going to be caught there by Hodgson and put down 11 short of the halfway. He'll play it back now. Papali also involved in the tackle. Now it goes to Jesse Bromwich, to Harris. He's over the halfway. He's still going, caught from behind though, and he's nailed by Whitehead coming back and absolutely punished him 41 metres out. Now it goes to Cronk. Left foot kick downfield. Looking for Slater coming through. It's picked up though by Whiten. Whiten through a half gap. Well, they've hardly made a gap so far. The Canberra Raiders, they get a penalty here. Slater get off the tackled player. Munster was the offender. Jack White and Slater get to his feet. And the score is 20-0. It's Melbourne leading the Raiders. The Raiders have a penalty. 21 short of the halfway. 15 metres in from touch. Down to the sideline, Peter Robinson.
Yeah, guys, you can hear the crowd. See Soliala's taken the field, so the Melbourne Storm fans are just letting you know what happened down in Canberra.
So Soliola on. Junior Paulo is the player who has been replaced. And this will be fascinating to see the reaction from the Melbourne Storm players, given the crowd has given it to Soliola. As the ball goes wide now to Whitehead, he takes it 40, 5 metres inside the Storm territory, 45 metres out. He plays it back now as it goes to Hodgson, right-hand side of the field at Tarpanay. Tarpanay still going. He's drifting across field, ducks under a high shot, and he's still going there. And he's caught by Nelson the Sofa Solomona, who puts him down 35 metres out. And now goes from Hodgson again, who runs from dummy half. He shaped on the right-hand side, took the tackle himself, and straight up the centre he went. He's 12 metres out. Raiders on the attack. It's Whitehead now at acting half. Melbourne leading 20-0, appealing for the penalty of the Raiders. Referee says play on as it goes now to Caesar, to Austin, drifting across field to Whiten. Whiten goes himself to Kotrick. Kotrick in the corner. Oh, the pass has gone forward. Well, he was through there. He went in the corner. The pass from Jack Whiten to Nick Kotrick has gone forward. Kotrick was in across the line, and he did pretty well to get across the line too, because Vunivalu was right on top of him. But the pass has gone forward, and so it is going to be a scrum. It'll be a Melbourne Storm scrum feed, 10 metres out from their own line, 20 metres in from touch. It's 20-0, Melbourne leading the Raiders. Peter on the sideline.
Geez, the Canberra Raiders, that's a nice shape down there, Tangy, at the moment. I thought he was going to score that try, Kotrick.
Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? It was slick movement on the outside. Jack Whiten chiming into the back line nicely. Had plenty of work to do. Kotrick, he got it down, but she was a forward pass.
All right, so the scrum will pack down, 10 metres out, 20 metres in from touch. And every player, bar Baptiste, on the field for the Raiders so far tonight. Ball taken to almost 20 metres out from their own line. So Melbourne with possession through Scott. And Scott is cut down. Kenny Bromwich has been replaced as well for the Melbourne Storm as it comes across field now. And the ball is taken forward a couple of metres. So the replacement player is on the field for the Melbourne Storm. Robbie Rocco is out there. And he's caught. Also out there, Slade Griffin. So a couple of changes there for the Melbourne Storm. And we're just looking here at the penalty that has been given to the Storm. 15 short of the halfway and kicking it downfield across the halfway. Good kick made by Cameron Smith. And so another chance here for the Melbourne Storm. They lead 20-0 over the Raiders. 12.5 minutes remaining before the break, and Kafusi takes it across field. He straightens up now, and he's caught by Sia Soliola, who puts him down 35 metres out. Still Melbourne on the attack. Left-hand side of the field to Smith, to Bromwich. This is Jesse Bromwich. Through the hands it goes to Munster. Munster then to Harris. Harris is through. Gets the arm free. Ball is loose on the ground. Slater was the player who was tackled on suspicion. Appealing for the penalty. Referee says play on, and the Raiders come up with the ball. 20 out from their own line. That was a near thing as Harris was through. Now it goes to BJ Leilua. Supposed to bounce out of that tackle, but equal to the task across there is Slater. Munster there as well. And now from dummy half, it's Rapana. They set upon him. He's caught 21 short of the halfway. A little bit going on. A little bit of push and shove. Players coming from everywhere. A bit of rivalry between these two sides. We expected a heated battle. What happened 6 weeks ago in Canberra, I guess, exemplified that. And now the referee has come across, just trying to settle things down. It's 20-0 at the moment. Melbourne leading the Raiders. 3 tries to 0 so far tonight. Tim Gavel, Alan Tongue and Peter Robinson with you in Melbourne. And the referee just calling a couple of players out. Just wants to settle things down a little bit. 11 minutes 40 remaining before the break. If you'd like to have your say, 0467920222. And by the looks of it, it is going to be a penalty to the Raiders. Nelson Asafa Solomona was the player who came in there. Jordan Rapana ignited a little bit of warfare. The penalty is going to the Raiders. 30 metres out from their own line. 5 metres in from touch. Almost a relieving penalty there for the Raiders. Kafusi was through. If Slater had taken the ball comfortably, he would have been away, Alan.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That left-hand side attack from the Melbourne Storm and Tohu Harris and Jesse Bromwich. She's having an outstanding game. But they're cutting the shreds on that left-hand side. That penalty was much needed by the Green Machine.
Ball taken over the halfway now by Bateman. And Bateman is caught 2 metres inside the Storm territory. Kafusi, the tackler. Smith there as well, just on the fringe there. Ball taken forward by Papali. That's a good run. Charges forward. Couldn't get his arm free for Whiten on the outside. And he takes the tackle 35 metres out. Melbourne leading the Raiders by 20 points to 0. Now it goes to Whitehead. Whitehead standing in the tackle, and he's forced to crossfield couple of metres. That's a good tackle made in the end by Griffin, who puts him down 29 metres out. Now the Raiders, left-hand side of the field, lovely pick up there by Austin. Wide it goes now to Papali, rampaging run again, but hanging onto his bootstraps there was Cooper Cronk. Ton of courage there. 11 metres out, 10 metres in from touch. The Raiders have got the ball through Austin. Big dummy one way. Managed to get the pass to Hodgson. Hodgson goes wide now. Attacking it forward this time is Whitehead. And Whitehead is caught only 9 metres out. 10.5 minutes remaining before half-time. It's Melbourne leading the Raiders 20-0. Raiders on the attack, only 10 metres out. Whitehead slow to get to his feet. Last tackle coming up here for the Raiders. As the ball is kicked through by Austin. Across there is Slater. Slater is bundled into touch. In goal. And so it will be a line dropout. Yep, the referee is across there. Melbourne Storm players are saying, well, Slater was already out of the field when he was tackled. The